Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Miss Sabrina Soul, and I have my amazing co-host next to me, Tyrone at Ty Wilson 21. Tonight, you guys know what it is. You know what it is. It is Friday. It's Friday, and you guys know what Friday means. That means single soul mates. Everything single. Everything single. And it is a couple of topics that I want to talk about tonight. It is a couple of special guests that we have. They are waiting backstage. They are ready. But yeah, I'm so excited for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys know without you, there is no us. You know what I mean? So shout out to you guys. If you have not liked this video, go ahead real quick, like the video. If you have not subscribed to my channel and Tyrone's channel, what are you waiting for? Definitely subscribe. And go in the comment section. Let us know exactly how you're feeling tonight. And also, too, I'm going to get ready to put that link for you guys to join us on the screen. So if you are interested in making a love connection, if you want to come up and shoot your shot, that's what we're here for, okay? So if you want to come up and say, hey, my name is Kevin, I'm 28, I like this, I like that, I'm looking for this, I'm like that's what we're here for. We're here to make some genuine love connections here on Single Soulmates. And also, too, I'm going to let Tyrone take it over because we have a lot more other things that we do, like assessments and Instagram and all that other stuff. But I'm going to let Tyrone take over that area because that's his specialty.
For sure. Thanks for having me on again, Sabrina. Always a pleasure. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, y'all. It's Friday. I am sipping on a little bit of Woodford, so I have not started yet. So I can only imagine what I'm going to be like an hour from now. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be educational. Ultimately, we want to hook you up or at a minimum, help you be better people. So in life or relationships, anything. So if you have questions about dating, life, marriage, being single, mental health, like anything in general, you can ask. There will be a separate, I guess you could call it a session, right? An Ask Ty session. Sabrina will call it out when she's ready. Just do hashtag Ask Ty and then ask me a question in the comments, and I'll do my best to provide an answer. I also asked a couple of the fellas to come up tonight, my close friends. So they're gonna give their, I guess, speak on their experiences, speak on, things that we see from a male's point of view, and that way you're not just getting it from me, right? You can learn how we, I guess, learn how we divide and conquer, spot things. How we pick up on, you know, things that you are telling us without telling us. All right. That was a mouthful. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, it usually is,
I'm
but we
ready.
got to update and we got to let them know exactly what we're here for because guess what? It's a lot of you I know are first timers. I
Mhm.
be seeing, and y'all have never come to my channel before. So I know when you click, you're like, what is this dating show? I
Mhm.
don't get it. So yeah, so I appreciate you going through, but also too, and you didn't mention this, Tyrone, say for instance, if you're not really interested in coming on screen with us because you're
Mhm.
shy and but you can explain that, Tyrone, and what you would do with their Instagram or anything that they put up in the comment section with the assessment, the whole thing. That was fun when we did that.
Yeah, I have this thing that I do. I feel like I'm really good at reading people through their profiles. So if you have an IG profile or if you have a dating profile that you want me to take a look at and you want me to give you my honest, quick assessment from a male's perspective, I'll do that and tell you some things that could use improvement, things that you may need changing, and just what the overall feel of your profile would be from a guy that's looking for a mate.
Yeah, and
Easy.
and and men, don't be shy because I can assess you too. And I'm single, so anyway, let's get right into it because I feel like honestly we have so much to cover because in real life I do want to talk about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian with the whole divorce and the child support situation. I really want to know you guys' thoughts on that situation. And also too, we have Joy in Clifton from Ready to Love Potomac. From my understanding, they should be joining Love and Marriage DC as friends on the show. So I want to talk about that. We have to talk about that because we are what ready to love here. So I definitely want to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later in the hour. But right now we have Jay Brown who is waiting backstage, and he got some things to say. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on now because, like I said, we have a whole lot to cover, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. Hi, Jay Brown. How are you?
Hello, Sabrina. What's good, Ty? What's going on with y'all?
Good.
Hello.
Chilling. I gotta put a disclaimer out there. Um, Jay's a good friend of mine. Jay knows that he don't have to lie to you all about me. So if you have questions, uh, Jay is allowed to answer those questions truthfully.
Good.
All the way truthfully.
I got some questions.
Come on with it.
I got some questions. No, but how are you, Jay? So, what brings you on tonight? So, let me ask you: are you single? Are you married? Are you dating? So, what are you?
So I'm married,
Okay.
and I'm on the show because Ty actually gave me a heads up this time about the show, as opposed to, hey, like 10 minutes from now, can you be on screen and come holler at some folks? That's a negative, bro. Can't do that. So yeah, anything I can do to support the homie, I try to do. So
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So, let me ask you. I just have a question because you are married, and it's a lot of us that are going to be watching the show or that's watching the show and that's going to watch the replay that are single. I mean, because hence the show is called Single Soulmates. So, how long have you been married? We're going to start there. How long have you been married?
so married 4.5 years.
Really? How long did you
Hmm.
guys date prior to you getting married?
About 6.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. So my real first question is why did you wait 6 years to get married? Because some people are like, I knew when I saw her, we was married within 9 months, and we've been married 4 to 7 years. Like, explain that to me. Like, why did you wait six
See,
years?
see, you said the second part on that, the married 46 years. Most people don't make it to that. So,
Okay.
it's one thing to see, how long people are together, before they get married. It's a whole other thing to see how long they stay married. And
Got it.
so, for us, it was, we were going to be one and done. Like, we were not getting a divorce. We are not marrying anybody else. Like, this is it. So, we wanted to be deliberate about kind of how we went about things. And I think, like a lot of people say, when you get married, there isn't a ton that changes, right? If the relationship was, at the level that, was going to be secure, not a ton changes. And that was really the case for us. So married, not married, obviously there's legal ramifications to that, but um, yeah, the 6 years, the 4 years, it all feels the same. It's all been a great, voyage. So
Yeah. What were you about to say? I always know how Tyrone's face looks.
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna say, and the wedding was fire too, but that's a that's a that's a
wedding was a good time.
I'll tell the story one time. I might tell the story. Um,
Yeah, you might as well just go ahead and sip before you start telling the story.
So, how did you know that your wife was going to be your wife?
Oh, she was my best friend.
Mhm.
She was my best
So
friend.
you guys had great communication, like what was it? Because I know it wasn't just that she was your best friend. Like, how did you know, like you said that day you woke up and you were like, you know what, I'm gonna marry this woman. Like, what
It,
were the things that go I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it doesn't really happen like that. At least it didn't for me.
Hmm.
And Ty knows, like I gave, a speech during the wedding, talking about what it's like to get to that point. Um, we were talking about, jumping that last hurdle into marriage, and really, the metaphor that that weekend during the wedding, we were talking about it was a race, right? And I was saying how when we started, I didn't even know I was on the track, but You realize you're on the track, you start running, you start jumping, and before you know it, you're at the end. And so I think there's a lot of people who try to be very, very, very deliberate about dating. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. I think there's a lot of people who kind of go down checklists and, people are good on paper, but at the end of the day, look at COVID, right? When you're stuck 24/7 with somebody, how's that paper looking? A lot of those things don't count for, when you're stuck and you're tired of looking at that person. So yeah,
Honey.
you asked the question, how did I know? When, there was just nobody else I really saw myself being with long term like that. And it was a gradual thing. It wasn't a wake up one day and, oh, like, I know.
Right. Mm.
Oh.
I know, single tear. I know.
Yeah, so someone has a question, Miss D, like how often do you get advice from friends and family, or how often do you feel like you need advice?
I I would call it perspective. I wouldn't call it advice. Because advice is for someone who's been in your shoes and kind of knows exactly where you are. And I think because relationships oftentimes, as similar as they can be, they're oftentimes very different. And so I think people who provide perspective instead of advice are usually more useful to people. And so I seek perspective all the time, advice a lot less frequently, because you don't know my marriage, you don't know my relationship, you don't know what we're going through. You know one side, or maybe if you happen to also know my wife, some aspects of both, but there's my story, her story, and the truth somewhere in the middle. And the only people who are really going to be able to come to grips with that are her and I.
Mhm.
So people can help us, think about things differently, but somebody telling me what I should do, I seek that out a lot less.
Got it. Understood.
How do you and your wife deal with conflict? Can you explain that? Because I
So
know that's one thing that I know I used to struggle with when I was I want to say younger, but a few years ago, when I was in a relationship, and it was crazy because I really thought that I was like, I just don't understand, like, why he doesn't get it, like, why he want to resolve it the way that I want to resolve it. That's the only way that we can resolve it. I just don't understand. It's more sensible. It just makes more sense. Why is he X, Y, and Z? And then I really had to. I've heard it before. I used to always say it, but it didn't really. I didn't grasp the fact that in real life we are from Mars and you guys are from Venus, or vice versa. Like that is really how, like, y'all's thought process and how you register things and how you think about things, everything. The male species is so different than women, like in real life. And once I realized that, I was like, I've mastered this. I was like, I think I finally got it. You know what I mean? But as a married couple, like, how, I want you to give me some insight, because obviously you're happily married. You look like you're very, like, you're speaking of from intelligence, like you really sound like you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So let me and the people know, how do you guys resolve conflict?
So one of the main things that we do is we try to live by a rule that I forget where I heard it, but essentially the rule is, if it's not going to matter a year from now, it doesn't really matter.
Facts.
And so, going back to putting things into perspective, there are a lot of things that you can really get wrapped up around the axle about, that
Mhm.
6 months from now, you're not even going to remember what you were arguing about.
Mhm.
And so, between that and the fact that you talked about women's mentality, I think, yes, you can make some generalizations about men and women, but really, I think people are different enough that it's not that cut and dry. And so my wife, for instance, is very logical, very kind of, straight to the point. doesn't really get wrapped up in a lot of emotions. So when we have a disagreement, it's, logic for the most part is going to rule the day. And there's a lot of times where, she'll be right and I'll just, hey, okay, yep, you got it. I didn't think about it like that. I didn't know that, whatever. Um, I would say the other thing is that for the most part, if I care about something a lot, I'll argue about it. If I
Mhm.
don't really care about it, have
You
at
just
it.
yeah.
Yep. And, I would definitely say for men, right? You're talking about men and women. For
Mhm.
men, if you can do that, if you can, 80% of the stuff you don't really care about, so that way when you speak up about something, they understand, okay, like he's not the type that's just going to argue with me all the time. Like if he's saying something about this, okay, if I can let it go his way, I'll let it go his way. And
Mhm.
that's generally how a lot of things go with us. So
But
we really kind of fell into that rhythm and been on that ever since.
it's working for you guys.
Hmm.
So from what okay, so let me ask you this, because now we're gonna get kind of deep.
Mm.
So how do you feel about social media? Do you feel like as a man that social media, how can I put it without sounding? Because I'll just say it and it can be ratchet. So, do you feel like that with social media, there's a lot of what's the word, Tyrone? I'm looking for. Like with you, the temptation. Do you feel like that because with dating nowadays? Because I feel like social media has ruined it. It's ruined. It's just ruined the dating scene because everybody is so tangible. It's like right at the touch. You know what I mean? So as a married man, do you feel sometimes like it might be problems. It might could be a problem, like like you might be, feeling while
So
you
so
scrolling.
I definitely understand what you're saying as far as temptation, but truth be told, temptation's always been there, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, people have had bat phones since back when them joints flipped. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So it's not necessarily that I think social media um, has made it worse. I think the interconnectedness is. I think that's where things get messy, right? There
Mhm,
was always temptation, but there's the ability for people to be in your business now, and a
mm,
lot of stuff kind of cracks and falters from that. People talking, people being in your business. Now, again, they could do that before, but I think when it comes to social media, I for one am not a huge social media person, so that already doesn't really affect me like that. But um, yeah, if you were the type that was gonna be tempted and have issues, you were gonna do that anyway, whether it was a flip phone, whether it was Facebook, whether it was whatever. Just the amount of people who know what you're doing or hear about things and can talk about things, that number increases. So I think that's where the problems really come in, is the amount of people that can be in your business.
mhm, mhm. Tyrone, you have anything?
Yeah, those are some good points. I think it does affect you a little bit, prior to settling down because of the amount of options that you have that are easily accessible now and the amount of people that you can swipe through in a night, before you finish a drink. And I think that affects you. You know what I mean? Sometimes it gets hard to settle on one person when you have the option, of cycling through 100 different people, on your ride home, in your area. So that makes it difficult. So understanding what you have and what's good for you is important.
I
Knowing why
smirk.
you're staying is important. You know.
I smirk because I feel like back when we was still running the streets like that, like we was hitting them numbers without Tinder. Like we didn't
Hmm.
need Tinder. So I mean, like you hit 4 clubs, that's a night.
Yeah.
You hit them numbers. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or just 3 floors in one in one club,
right, right.
and that's all different nationalities. You have the R&B floor, you got the old school floor, Yeah, it might even
Yeah.
be Brazilian night, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to know from you guys if you know, and I think Tyrone, we've already discussed this,
Mhm.
but Jay, how do you know? Okay, because I know that even in my situation, just personally, I've met someone and I know that he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. He will always love me. Always. And we always have that one, and it's just not me. We all know it's a lot of us out here. It's that one person. You know what I'm saying? Not for me, but for him. I know, like, I am her for him. But for some reason, he can't give everybody else up. Can you, Tyrone, did we talk about this already on here?
We did.
When you say he can't give everybody else up,
So, yeah.
say more. Say
So,
more.
so I mean, I don't know because I used to always think, like, in my head, like, does he have like a sex problem? Maybe that's it. Like, he just has issues. Like, he needs to really go seek some help. Like, maybe he's just a nympho. I don't know.
Okay, so wait, so let's get into that. You want to talk about we're gonna get steamy. Let's go on and get steamy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want
So
to know.
so what makes it a problem? You said he might have a problem.
So, and that's what I was getting ready to say, that it's hard for me to kind of believe it because when it's like he didn't always want it, but he did. But then it's like he always, like, if I wasn't around for a day, it was like he had to go somewhere else to go get it.
So
You know
so
what I
newsflash, yes he did.
mean? Yes, he did what?
You said he didn't always want it, but when yes he did.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
Like, I
Like he
just
didn't
don't
tell. He might not have told you that off top because you would feel like maybe he had a problem. But
understand. I just don't understand because my thing is if you guys know you found the one, why would you jeopardize the one
so
for?
this is I think the issue. Ty smirking because he already knows what I'm gonna say. Um,
Because he's already
that
told me like 50,000. Told all of us like 50,000. I want to hear from someone else though.
yeah. So a lot of times people, I won't even say women, people confuse sex with love.
mm,
And they feel like their partner being with somebody physically takes something away from their relationship, something away from how they feel about how that person feels about them, and that's not always the case. There are a lot of people who that is the case for. That's not everybody. And
mm,
so people have to be able to really have conversations about what does sex mean to them? What does monogamy mean to them? Um, you know, people I think oftentimes assume that people are looking for traditional relationships, and that's not always the case. And so, you know, I think people end up in a bad spot because they're ashamed or they feel like the person won't understand, but they really, love that person. And they're not able to be their full self. They're not able to do the things that are going to fulfill them because of how they feel the other person is going to see them or think about them.
mm,
And, I think that is one of the biggest issues that we have relationship wise, kind of writ large, is that people tend to look at traditional relationships as the way that they have to go. And that's just not necessarily the case.
yeah, and that's what I told him. Like, let me tell you something. If I met a guy and he like, look, this how I like to get down. I like to do this. I like to do that. We could do this. We could do that. I want to do this and I want to do that. And I would be like, okay. But you know what I'm saying? And you could be like, and I know it's a lie, and you might not want to do that, but I'm just letting you know those are the things I like to do. And I feel like if men would be more honest with women, you might be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Instead of feeling like that's my wife, that's gonna be my wife. I can't do that with her. I can't have her, you know, licking on my booty. Like I can't, that's gonna be my wife. She gonna be kissing my children. I just can't. I got to go get, a random. And I just feel like it's so many. I just feel like it could be so many more successful relationships if we were just honest, first of all, with ourselves, and then like with each other. Because I'm really cool as the fan. Like I'm really down to earth. But no one wants to, it just seems like no one wants to be honest with me like that because they feel like that, like I might be like, oh, he for the streets, he for the, and I actually I might really say that. I might say, but you might really be for the streets. You know what I'm saying? But if you from the streets and you like that kind of stuff, and now you ain't on nobody corner, you trying to come home, things is different now. You know what I'm saying? But I just wish that men would just be more honest. And I don't want to just keep saying men because there's women out there that's for the streets too. So let's just put that out
So
there. It,
uh,
it goes both ways.
I
What were you
want
about
I
to
want to say one quick thing, and then because Ty and I have gone back and forth on this, and he's got a whole thing on why men can't be honest about it. But I'm gonna let him cover that.
say?
Um, but I think even looking at somebody like you who has said that you are a bit more liberal with how you see relationships, you said hey, he might have a problem, and I think that speaks to just how deep a lot of the thoughts of what relationships are supposed to be, what sex life is supposed to be. You know, those things are so deep within us that we don't know why we feel the way that we do about them. And so, to you, his behavior was aberrant, but what is that based on, right? And I think that's the biggest problem. You want, just like you said, you want him to be honest, but you said he has a problem, and so already he's being judged, right? And that's going to be a really difficult place to try to get someone um, in a trusting, comfortable place to be able to be honest when they feel like they're being judged.
And I get it, but the only reason I say those things is not because I'm prejudging him, it's because it's factual. So, I mean, I
Is it?
absolutely, yeah. See, it's a long story. It's a long story. So, just real quick. So, it was a situation where we actually used to date, and we was engaged actually, and he was supposed to be my whole husband, and I caught him cheating, and it was a whole big mess. Like the girl ended up being crazy. We had to get a restraining order. Like it was a lot. Okay. So he had a second chance at moi, fabulous me. He had a second chance, and I don't give second chances. Okay. And then like with the second chance, like we were actually kind of seeing each other for a few months, and then he accidentally butt dialed me. And when he butt dialed me, he was in Florida or Miami or wherever he was with like 5 or 6 other his boys, and they had was having like boy conversation. And it was so interesting. I stayed on and listened to the whole conversation until I felt like I just didn't want to listen anymore. But I was painting my house, so I had time. So I just put it on speaker and mute, and I just listened. But the things that he had said was very disturbing, which led me to believe that everything he said about him being a changed man, he was actually, it sounded like he was worse than what he was when we first dated. So that's what I just mean. I just feel like, because he had a second chance with me, I mean, he was like, I'm not that person anymore. Like, I really would like to, try to make this right. Like, I screwed up, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then to like kind of go right back into his ways, it just was like, dang. And I'm just glad that this time I didn't fall for it. I'm glad I did. Because I did before, I ignored the red flags. I was dating off of potential. I'm thinking that one day he could change. We did marriage counseling and everything. Like it was crazy. And we invested so much within each other. And then for him to like turn around and do something like this, like again, he just wasn't honest. He lied just within that conversation. Like I heard it with my own ears. And he was like, and I was like, you lied. Like you didn't tell me the truth. He's like, well, how much did you hear? He was like, well, and I asked him a question. He was like, well, what did you hear? It was like he didn't even want to answer the question until he knew for a fact that I had heard the answer. I'm like, so you just one of them dudes that really take stuff to the grave. He like, I ain't volunteering nothing. That was his mindset. And it just made me feel like, dang, if you want to sit here and lie about this after I told you I listened for an hour and a half, he was like, well, what you hear? I was like, everything. He was like what? I was like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, and this is exactly why I'm gonna have to cut you off. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is. I just wanted your perspective. I know Tyrone gets on me all the time. And then after this, you say what you gotta say, Jay. Tyrone got some questions for you in the comment section.
No,
I thought I
those
was gonna tell them why dudes can't tell the truth, but
No, please tell me, tell we females want to know, and that's why I'm like y'all are here. That's why I'm trying to get y'all's perspective of certain things that us women want to know. Questions, put the questions in the comment, guys.
sure. I
Ask
highlight
these men questions that
yeah.
we need the answers to.
I highlighted some of them, Sabrina.
Yeah, I know. You could go ahead
Yeah,
and
Jay and I have had this conversation plenty of times. And Jay would always be like, hey, and every time I meet someone new, he's like, did you have the conversation yet? Did you have the conversation yet? And from experience, you talk about things that you want to do, but actually doing those things and having to live with it, the day after, um, it's not as easy as you think, right? Especially for me, and I'm just speaking for me. Um, so based on um, my history, there are conversations that I've wanted to have. There's things that I wanted to do, um, and I ended up doing those things. But I realized that for me, it was difficult for me to look at her, knowing that she knows, you know, and for me, it was difficult for me to get 110% trust from her. Like even if I'm just going to the store, or going to get gas, So finding ways to ensure that that trust is there all the time was difficult for me personally. Um, and to talk about why that conversation is hard, it's because you do feel like you're going to be judged. You do feel like you can't be trusted 100%. You do feel like if you have kids one day, at some point that info may come out, at the wrong time, you know, and then now you got to live with that. And not only that, you got to live with her every single day, knowing what you all know, and then, for me, it becomes difficult when you're sitting in front of company and you want to try to have this righteous relationship, in front of company when you and her both know, which I was doing 2 weekends ago, you know? So I hope I'm not beating around the bush with what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, I've been able to experience some things, and I think that's what helps me give that extra perspective. Like you want to have multiple people in the bedroom multiple times, but having that conversation is not the easiest thing, which is why I always talk about now. I don't get into this much detail, but I often talk about knowing what your boundaries are, being able to express what your boundaries are, and I'm not saying don't care about how people feel about your boundaries, but those are your wants and your desires and your boundaries. So, it's up to them to accept that or not, you know. And as you get older, you start to realize that, you know, in order for both of you to be happy, you have to be happy. And, you know, I'm not going to necessarily say being with someone else doesn't mean you don't love her, you know, because the two can be mutually exclusive. You can love the hell out of her. It's just on how you approach it and what you agree to at the beginning. And I saw the look, Sabrina, and that's why men find it difficult to have that conversation at the beginning because you just feel like, oh, he a hoe, and that may not be the truth, you know, it's just,
well, so you know what, and that's the funny thing, right? Women have been on this whole arc on sexual liberation, being able to own their sexuality, and they have the whole walk. They have all of these things, and so when it's like, well, he might be a hoe, how does that get turned around where that's problematic, right? I thought we all were owning our sexuality. We all were, becoming more aware. And so, it's really interesting to me how this whole thing kind of breaks down when we try to meet on an equal playing field and talk about this, because it's not seen the same way. And it's not, I don't think, a man thing. I don't think it's a woman thing. I think people really have to dig deep and try to understand why they have the beliefs that they do, and more often than not, question those beliefs and ask themselves, how are those beliefs serving them in their everyday life? There are people who are living righteous as hell that are miserable.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I think the other thing is, not to just put it on the guy, but me having to accept that if I'm going to do it, she's probably going to do
She's
it
gonna
too.
do it.
And that's
Hmm.
something that we don't normally talk about because, men just try to be selfish about all of it. And that's not an easy thing to accept, you know.
It's not,
And
and
it's
I want to foot stomp that joint, because a lot of dudes do that. They
mhm,
want it one way and it can't be the other. Nah, bro, you can't do that.
yeah. So sometimes you just gotta have that conversation, like, hey, like, I'm not gonna ask no questions, you know. But if you do ask, I'll tell the truth.
See, my thing is once you put yourself in that situation to have me look at you kind of crooked, like he said he going to the gas station. Mm-hmm. He said he hanging out with his boys. Mm-hmm. But you have already instilled that doubt within me. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
That's the thing.
it's
This is
already
the
on the
thing.
way to being too late.
Yeah. So that's what we need to discuss first. Like, if I'm being truthful with you from the beginning, I don't have to lie about going to the gas station because I've literally told you where I was 2 nights ago. So
Right.
if I say I'm going to the gas station, there's no reason to not believe me
But
because
you've already told me once that you was at the gas station and you really wasn't at the gas
so no,
station.
no, that's what I'm
But
saying. I'm saying
that
at the beginning, you be
Mhm,
truthful about everything if you
mhm,
ask, you know?
mhm.
Yeah, that's where I was.
But my thing is once you have put us in a position to have doubt because you stepped out in the relationship.
Sabrina,
Yeah.
you have to let it go. You got to let it go. That's not what we're talking about. What we're
Oh,
talking about is, how
mhm.
do you, from the beginning, lay a foundation of trust and being in a safe space, so that there is no reason to lie about what is happening.
Oh, I mean, I understand that. I understand that because that's not what I was discussing. I'm thinking like after you've stepped out, like how do we build from there? You know what I
So
mean?
now what I will say about that is, it's possible. It is possible to build from there. And whoever the person was that stepped out, they are going to have to understand that it's going to take as long as it takes for that person to
Right.
get back into a place to be able to trust them, if ever.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. But yeah,
Yes.
we were
Yeah.
talking about two different things, but you're absolutely right. And I completely agree, especially if you want to make it work. Like you have to make some sacrifices, and it's going to be long days and long nights, a lot more communication than what it was before. I mean, especially if this is your person, because obviously you're doing it because they are worth it. You know what I'm saying? So we have some questions in the
Yeah.
comments. So let's go ahead before it because we can talk and talk and talk.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, question: do you and your wife have children, Jay?
We do. We have a son named Cairo. He is 15 months old.
Oh, he's a baby, baby.
Hmm.
Oh wow, he about to be terrible twos. How's that working out for you?
Oh, he's terrible now.
Oh,
He has both mine and his mother's personality, which makes us both want to fight him daily. So
oh. Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
thank you.
Um, Ty, if you made it to the Friends date on Ready to Love, would you have brought Jay on for his perspective on Shiloh? Let me go ahead and mute my mic because
Yeah, he would have been up there. Um, my, y'all ever met my sister? My sister likes to keep it real. Um, my brother would have kept it real. Jay would have definitely been up there. John Robinson would have been up there. Ty's godfather would have been up there. Um, I think Jay has met her. Uh, so yeah, it would have been in.
So, is it okay for your girlfriend woman to engage as well? And I think Jay kind of answered that. So, but Ty, would you like to?
Yeah,
Interject?
I feel it's what we talk about at the beginning of the relationship. What we're able to be open and truthful about when it comes to, you know, the possibilities, how often, what that looks like, what the responses are. Should we ask? What does it mean if it's a late night? Like all of that needs to be discussed so that way, there are no um, untruths, there are no missing bits of information. Safety needs to be a big part of that equation as well. So there's a lot of conversation that needs to be had. But if you are going to do it, then yeah, you have to accept that she may as well.
Mm, mm. I can't do that. I can't do that. If my man step out, I can't be like, I'm gonna just step out. Honestly, I would just end the
Oh,
relationship. I just
Sabrina, that's not what we're talking about.
okay.
But
We're
that's like
talking
if he's
about,
lying, yeah, if he lied and be like, I'm not going to step out, and then he do it, then that's different than saying, hey, there may be someone else.
so let's, and I mean, let's dig on that, right? So what we're talking about is fulfillment, right? We're talking about the point of sex being fulfillment. In the instance that, we're talking about here with this question, where, or maybe in the context of this question, definitely Sabrina, in the context that you gave it, at that point, the sex isn't about fulfillment from a physical standpoint. It's revenge fulfillment.
Mhm.
It's a way to make yourself whole after you feel like you've been wronged or you feel like your trust has been violated. Those are
Mhm.
two completely different things. And that, I think that is, when we talk about, the woman engaging as well and all of this other stuff, like it's very much on the fulfillment side. And people have to realize that someone's fulfillment is not necessarily 100% going to come from them. And that's just a fact of life, right? People have friends, like people have a lot of aspects of their fulfillment that don't necessarily come from their spouse, right? We like to take sex and make it a separate thing that has to be 100% fulfillment from your spouse. But no other aspect of life is really like that.
Mm. Mm. So Lily would like to know by being honest, like, hey, I want to be in an open relationship.
Yep.
I mean, if that's what it is, so there's different levels. There's open, there's the ethically non-monogamous, there's many different levels of the spectrum. And I feel like you need to discuss them so you can get a true understanding of what they are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I like to talk about everything. I like to talk about, hence why the guy that I met on the dating show, I mean, the dating app, remember? He was like, you talk too much. And I know what he meant because I was asking him a lot of questions when he and I were talking. And he just was like, golly. And I just was like, wow. And, and I wanted him to know more about me and I wanted to know more about him. Like, especially like in the very beginning, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time if we're in real life not compatible and the answers won't come without us asking those hard questions. So, and it was crazy because we had only talked for like 3 days and I was asking all these questions and I was talking about scenarios and everything. And then that's when he was like, wow, you talk a lot. I was like, what? What? I was like, yeah, he's definitely not the one for me. It's like, next, swipe. Why would you want to build with someone who disrespected you by cheating?
That
Uh,
that is. Go ahead, Jay.
nah, you gonna lead off?
Sure. Um, I would say everyone's situation is different.
Mhm.
Um, I have a really good friend that I actually got a phone call from who divulged a lot of information to me. And he was like, I'm not leaving. You know, I got a 7-year old. We just bought a house. You know, I got another kid that's about to turn one. I'm not leaving. I told her I'm not leaving. We're going to work this out. That's my wife. You know, is he hurt? Does he feel disrespected? Yeah. But, for him, you know, being able to walk his kid to school every day is more important than, what people think he may look like or feel like when he's trying to work it out with his wife. So that's what I'm gonna say. Every situation is different. I think it would for me it would be the level of disrespect. If it was just blatant lying, blatant, meeting up, because that just isn't an overnight thing. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't just slip and then fall into somebody's panties. You know what I mean? Like that took some time. That took some work to make happen. And if all of that was a lie, then yeah, I mean, it would make me, think about that. And in my situation, you know, I know where my child is, so it would be easier for me to leave because, you know, me personally, I haven't invested a lot in a woman, if at all. So being able to leave would be a lot easier for me.
So I definitely agree with that. I think taking it out of, because it's really easy to go to the, kids and not wanting to disrupt your way of life. I think that's the easy answer, right? I think the more complicated answer, also to your point though, is that yes, every relationship is different. And I think the key question when something like that happens is why did it happen? Because there are aspects of why that either are solvable or are not. And I think that's where, for a lot of relationships, we draw a lot of strong corollaries to, what happens sexually. So, for example, if there is, someone who, again, has a sex problem, like Sabrina said, and the person that they were with was really a means to an end, right? Like Sabrina said, hey, maybe she was gone for a week. This person was a means to an end. Would it have been Sabrina if she was there? Sure. Okay, let's talk about why you were doing what you were doing and whether or not that is something that you can live with, right? Because the disrespect was the line. It wasn't necessarily the sex, although quite possibly part of it, right? But you have to dissect and understand what that is. I had a situation. I was dating someone, and they cheated, and the why for them was they thought we were at a point in our relationship where we should be, exploring marriage. And I didn't leave. What I took from it was that, and I know myself, I know that I can be um, extremely, logical, and sometimes it comes across as cold, and it comes across sometimes as like uncaring. And so that person was feeling like they were not cared for. And so they found that somewhere else. And it was a happenstance. I happened to be away for, about a month, and something happened. And so for me, that was a situation where I understand what happened. I didn't think that it was the end all be all, that okay, like this is something that's not solvable, right? So I've been in situations where, I did look to continue to build with that person. We didn't work out, but that wasn't the reason why.
Mm. Well, my go. Yeah, I'm not gonna be. It's over. It's a wrap. We done. Yep, that's all. Next question. It's nothing to talk about here. I'm just at a place where at my age and at the man's age that I'm going to date, because I only date within a certain range, and I just feel like a man that is in his late 40s or early 50s, like if you still out there trying to like dip into other things, and and you know, you're not finished, like you're not finished, like why you get in a relationship, like why didn't you just stay single and just do, and I understand love and sex is two different things, I get it, but my thing is you still have a choice. You have a choice. You can decide not to. I don't care how much temptations, like you said earlier, it just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I feel like your decision, that's just like me. I have a high sex drive too, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna just be out here like if my man go away for a week and I'm gonna just be smashing somebody else. No, that's not the case. No, 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 no. So for a man to do it, and that's one thing I think is, for me, I feel like is a little different between men and women. It's like I just feel like and some women it's like this too, that the sexual urges that you have and the desires, and like I've talked to men and they're like, yeah, I be beating it like at least 5 times a day. I'm like, 5 times a day, like what? By the time you get the real thing, you're not gonna be unfeeling like you used to the you know what I'm saying. So it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel some type of way, but I just feel like at our age, just me personally, at our age, if you still out there and if you feel like you're not strong enough to withhold those desires and to keep them over there, and feel like my baby is the best, she got it going on, she do everything, like she's amazing, like that's gonna be my wife, but you want to go smash somebody else, then yeah, you're not ready.
So let me challenge you there. Do you feel like you can't feel that way? You can't want to do those things and feel that your baby is everything, she's the best, blah blah blah. You feel like those are mutually exclusive. You cannot do both.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I feel like most men, that's how they feel. But a lot, well, now I'm not going to say a lot, but the ones I've dealt with acted on it. You know what I'm
No, and
saying?
that's what I mean though. Like so acting on it, is it mutually exclusive acting on it and feeling that way about your would be wife?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
I don't know.
Is that like an ego thing? Do you think it's an ego? Do you feel like you lose to the other woman if he steps out with her?
Not at all. Not at all. That's one thing about me. I've never felt less than once he cheated because I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was them. It was something that they wanted to go and do. And usually it's the women that were hanging around was like, I know you about to get married. I know Sabrina's your fiance, but like, what you trying to do? Like, you trying to go in a car real quick? Like, they didn't care. They didn't care. And these women, it was like they were very persistent and they kept trying, and I think in their head they felt like if they could keep giving what they thought that he may have wanted all the time, that maybe he would eventually leave them because it would make him fall more in love with them. And I mean, that's just what I, from after I talked to her, that's just how it sounded. But I knew at the end of the day they were two separate things.
Mhm.
But my thing is that if you've done that, see, I mean, this is a great example. I just went through it. Like, and I don't even want to say once a cheater, always a cheater. But my thing is, what is it? What they say? A cat can't change his stripes, but so much. Like, I just, it's just hard for me to believe because 4 years later, I start talking to you again. We start dating again, and you're on the same. You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
So
it's,
Yeah.
you're
I'm not
staying
saying
in.
all men. I'm just saying
No,
just
absolutely.
I've experienced, and he wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? I didn't
So you're
date.
so you're staying in the distrust from cheating. I want to go back to if someone was honest from the beginning,
Mhm.
they were in a ethically non-monogamous relationship, open relationship, whatever. Is
Mhm.
it possible for them to be with other people and still think that their wife is the best thing since sliced bread?
My opinion, I just feel like if you're out there in the streets like that, then you really don't feel like that about your wife.
Why?
Because if she is the best thing since sliced bread, then if that bread is so good, then that's the only piece of bread that you would want. That's just how I feel. I'm not saying that the temptation wouldn't be there and that he wouldn't look at her because she got a nice booty or she got a nice body, and you know what I'm saying, and he wants to have conversations with a nice woman that's at the bar that he went to after work or whatever. You know, I'm not saying that, but for him to step out of the relationship, he really doesn't think that much of his wife, because I know me, I have temptation too. I know I'm an attractive woman and I have men come to me all the time. But when I'm in a relationship, and I have a high sex drive, but when I'm in a relationship, that's my man. I'm not going to step out on my man because he looked like because he done got some great sweatpants on, and everything is looking right. You see what I'm saying? But that's not going to make me be like, dang, his bread looking good too. Like, no, no. But that's just me. That's just me. I just feel like if you feel like that this is the best thing since sliced bread, but you over here taste testing the muffins, then that's not how you feel about the bread. It's not the best
So,
thing.
I'm still curious as far as, when you said that you didn't know why. Ty asked, hey, it doesn't take anything away from you, and you said no, it doesn't take anything away from me.
Mhm.
What is the issue? If they've been honest from the start, not if they've lied to you, but if they've been honest from the start, what is your hang up? What is your issue?
It's hard for me to answer that question because I've never had that. I've never been in a situation or relationship where they were honest from the beginning.
Fair. Okay.
Another thing that we touched on, and Jay, we talk about this sometimes, is I feel like men are subconsciously trying to identify if you've forgiven cheating before,
Hmm.
because it may feel like we're going to
That
get
they
at
can
least
get
one
over.
pass.
Yeah. And
So
see,
in
I don't
that
that's not
relationship,
with
I,
no
no, I
man.
think I might have asked you if if he's ever identified if you've forgiven cheating before.
Who? The last guy?
Did you ever have that conversation with him about cheating and staying with the person that cheated on you before
No,
he
we've
did it?
never had that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, we've never had that conversation. Hmm. I don't even think I want to have the conversation because I don't even want him to think that I care that much.
So in your next relationship, would you ever admit to forgiving someone for cheating? Because you have a
Um,
strong stance against it now.
but it's hard for me to do that because I guess in this instance, I can't say I forgave him because I didn't really forgive him. I didn't really.
Mm.
I
Now
did.
that's deep.
Yeah, I didn't
He
because
got a second chance that wasn't really a second chance.
it honestly it really wasn't because I started to deal with him on that level in my head. I wasn't thinking long term. I was thinking in the meantime with him. So you know how you have your randoms. Even though he was an ex, he was a random at that point. He was the only ex that's ever been a random in my life ever. He was just a random. He was someone to fill a void at that moment. And it's crazy because he's probably going to watch this, and I hope he does. But I would never. You know, I thought to myself, could I? I can't because of like I wish I could tell you guys everything that he put me through, but if I told you, you would be like, why did you even talk to him again? Like it was bad. It was bad. But I was like, I was in a place in my life where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep my options open, whatever. And he wanted to be there, okay, and that's just all it was. But guess what? He wanted to be there. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be there because I was single. I'm still single.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm real dry right now. I don't got nobody right now.
So
No,
let's
nobody. So just let y'all know if it's any men watching, if you want to come up and shoot your shot, and women too, if you want to shoot your shot. The StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the comment section. Definitely click that link and join us on live. And yeah, so if you have any dating stories or any dating anything, definitely come on screen with us. If you are too shy, you have the option of putting your Instagram or your social media links in the chat, and guess what? Somebody might see it, check you out, and say, you know what? There go Michelle right there. I've been looking for Michelle. Michelle didn't come on the screen, but she definitely put her information in the chat, so you do have the option of doing that as well. So, Tyrone, what would you get ready to say? Because we do have some more questions.
Let's get to the questions.
Okay. Oh, wow. Whoa. Okay. Why do some men 40 plus run through women their age and their youth, and then when they hit the 40s, want to date younger, but then complain because those older women move like younger women versus dating mature women? Good
I
question.
mean, yeah, I feel like with that question, Michelle could tell us. She laid it all out. I mean,
Sounds personal.
yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
That was awfully specific.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really identify with that question. So, I mean, I can give a couple thoughts, but that's not your boy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we could break it down. Why do men 40 plus run through women their age in their youth? Uh, I guess the easiest answer is because we can.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
because we can. And when they hit their 40s and want to date younger, but then complain because those younger women move like younger women versus dating mature women.
So like this is to me like this is stupid, and I feel like absolutely it's true that people do it, but it's dumb.
Mhm.
Like yeah, like you are gonna completely just run through whoever, and then when you're older, expect someone who's younger to move a different way. Why? That doesn't make sense. Obviously, people can be at various stages of maturity, kind of at any point in their life, but you're setting yourself up for failure. That doesn't make sense to me. I know people do it, but I think it's stupid.
Yeah. I would also say that subconsciously that brother is hurting. You know what I mean? And seeking some type of validation that he is not getting from one person. And it's deeper than, a lot of people may realize. So he's out there searching for something that's not going to be fulfilled because he's not healing himself.
He gonna end up
No.
searching for a STD. That's what he gonna end up finding. He keep moving like that.
Yeah.
I'm real funny about that, honey. I was like, I need to see paperwork. Okay. Do you think some women say they want the truth, but some can't handle it when heard, so therefore the man's safe space feels compromised off our reaction during your vulnerability?
Absolutely. I think if you wanted to sum up a lot of what we've been talking about, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
People say they want the truth. And, there are some people who are mature enough to say, yeah, like I wanted the truth. That truth does not match where I want to be in life. And so we're not compatible, and that's fine. But there's other people who can't handle it, and it's all downhill from there.
Mm-hmm. It's like they say they can, and they're like, no, it's okay, it's cool. You could tell me, no, we good. As soon as they tell them, she be in her feelings for the rest of the relationship. Then you gotta drop her because you like, I thought you said you could handle it. And then she be in her feelings, treating you like you done cheated on her the whole time, and all you did was just tell the truth. So I get it. I talk to guys about that all the time. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But it is what it is. I still feel like you guys should just be honest. Because like give me the option, give me the choice to say, oh, that's how you move? That's what you do? Like let me be like, okay, I get it. Let me just deal with them and let me see where this goes.
So and that's another thing, and I love a lot of the stuff that my brother Ty has been doing on mental health and some of these other things. A lot of times men don't talk about what we're thinking, what we're feeling, but judgment hurts men too. Like it's not a one-way street where women are the only ones that are hurt by judgment. So nobody wants to sign up for that.
Yeah.
So like to expect that a man just is going to feel like he can be vulnerable and that there are no ramifications from that, that doesn't make sense. And especially if they've done that in the past and they've been judged. And that's, I think, another thing that women don't necessarily understand about men is that we carry a lot of baggage too. and
Mhm.
that we don't necessarily talk about those things or lay those things out, but it absolutely is the case a lot of times. And so you might have had somebody who wanted to be honest, and then after getting judged a few times, they're like, not gonna do that no more.
Yeah, that's true. But they shouldn't change up because they're going to end up meeting that one person where they should be honest and then they don't be honest because they're not going to do it no more. Like I just feel like you should, if you know that that is you and it's right for you. I don't care how she took it. Like you just need to be consistent because that's how I am. Like last dude, he didn't like some of the things that I did within like the 3 day dating process that I had with him. Guess what? He's just not my guy. But I'm not going to change up my tune. I'm not going to change up how I communicate because I feel like that's huge. We have to ask these questions, and it's the questions that you got that we're talking about right now. Like I asked him those hard questions. Maybe in his head, he's like, I've been knowing this chick 3 days and she already asking me X, Y, Z, whatever. It's just what it is. Like I don't got no time to waste. We getting old. We don't got time to. Okay, so I'm assuming that this question is for me. Because
I mean, if hey Ty, do what you do.
I
I
was
don't know.
getting ready. I was getting ready to say, how about we flip it? Would you give your woman a threesome?
If that's what was desired, we'd have to talk about how that works. But yeah, why not?
Yeah, that was discussed at the beginning, and we knew the parameters, and those parameters kind of fell through, and you've had already agreed to it. You've already accepted it, mentally and emotionally. If it happens and under those conditions, then yeah.
Should I answer this question too?
Don't be on here lying to these people, getting people hopes up.
Oh no, let me tell
Be
you.
like,
That's
you said I have
oh,
the
let me tell
video.
you.
You said it.
That's one thing that I don't do. I always keep it 100, and that's why they mess with me. Something that you asked me 2 years ago, I'm gonna always remember because I'll never lie. Like I always keep it 100. I'm not saying it, but and if I say I might change my mind, then I'll be like, I don't really know. But right now, this is how I feel. That's how I will answer. But this is how I will feel forever. The answer is no. So no, I would not give my man that. Like I said, I'm in a place in my life where, and I'm not saying have I ever, whatever. We're not talking about that. We talking about right now. Now I can say this: prior to Sabrina, pre Sedora, I lived a very fruitful life. Okay. I had a lot of fun. And the reason I had that kind of fun is because I was not a mother yet. You know what I mean? I really lived like, if I die tomorrow, I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I literally lived my life like it was my last day every day. And that's just what it was. And that's one of the reasons why I waited to have kids because I knew once I became a mom, I was going to have to be responsible for another human being. When I was single, when I didn't have no kids, I was flued out. I was here, I was there, I was all over the place, and I was doing the things that I wanted to do that I had never tried before. I was like, I'm gonna try that because I don't want to try it. I'm gonna try it right now. I'm gonna see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. I even had relationships with certain dudes where that's just all it was, and we trusted each other and we experimented on things, you know what I mean? But I was in my late 20s, early 30s, like that's what I did.
So let me ask you this, because you
Mm-hmm.
you you brought up being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
How does doing that take away from you being a mother?
Because I might catch something that I can't get rid of. I don't know those people, and that whatever I
Well,
catch
so well,
might
wait, well,
I'm
wait.
just
You
real
you
funny
might
about stuff like that.
you might know those people, and you can do the same thing with one person. You can get the same
Yeah,
thing from one person.
I'm just not interested. I feel like the universe right now has placed me in a position where I am just solely meant for one other soul, not for a whole bunch of different other souls. And I'm real funny about transferring like bodily fluids. Just
That's
doesn't sit well with me. I'm just not one of those
that's what I
people.
was trying to ask you earlier. Is that an ego thing, Sabrina?
With me,
Where you feel like you more than deserving to just be with one person, and that one person should just be with you forever? Do you
no, it's
feel that
that
way, or is that just something you're just not gonna accept otherwise?
I'm just not going to accept it. Otherwise, it has nothing to do with ego. It has everything to do with I've had my fun. I've done those things. I just want a monogamous relationship. I just want to be with someone that just wants to be with me. Like I just don't understand like why people just can't understand that. Like
Well,
that's
so I think we're trying to understand that, but I think the answer that we continue to get is, well, because.
well, because I'm telling you the reasons why. Like, I don't have no desires to be with a bunch of different dudes. I don't have no desires to be sleeping with him and her. I just don't have those desires. I
Well,
have
yeah,
a
for
desire
you,
to
for you,
feel
for
just with one
you.
person, and that's it. That's just me. I can't speak for nobody else.
So you don't want him to have those desires, or you just don't want him to act on those desires? Because I
I don't
think
want
those
him to
desires
act on
is
them.
gonna be there.
That's what I'm trying to say, but that's what I was saying about the guy
Okay.
with the gray sweatpants. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to look and I'm going to be like, dang, you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that at all. It just means that I'm not going to step out and I just want somebody
Okay.
that's not going to step out
So you just
either.
don't want a cheater. That's
I don't
understandable.
want a cheater. I'm not
Okay.
saying I want him to be human. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So if a girl walk by and she got a big old booty, I'm gonna be like, babe, dang, she got a big old booty. Look, babe, look. Like that's just what I just want someone that I can be able to have that type of relationship with where I don't have to worry about him stepping out.
Yeah,
Period. Like yeah,
I
I'm
get
not into the threesome, the foursomes,
you.
the sixsomes. I'm just not. I just want a twosome. Just
I
me
get
and
you.
you.
Uh,
Just me.
our,
Um.
our our homie, our homie Brandon is in the chat, and
Yeah.
he had a message. Said this is why he's a snowman.
Well,
Stop. So
do I need to scroll
so
down?
no.
Nah,
So I mean, since we were keeping it 100, the reason why I was able to answer those questions so truthfully is because I've been in situations where I've had to, assess if I would or not, you know? And I honestly feel like for anyone that's considering that, they need to put themselves in that situation so they can truly understand how they're going to feel about it and be able to express how they're going to feel about it, you know? And for the longest time, I was like, no, like that, like my wife, like that's where I draw the line. I'm not sharing my wife, you know? Um, but as you get older, you start to, I don't know, you start to open up a little bit. You start to be a little bit more secure in yourself. You start to have, you know, real conversations that most people would be afraid to have, you know?
and let's be honest. A lot of this is about being selfish. It's about fear and about being selfish, because what we're talking about again is fulfillment, and you should want to fulfill your partner,
You
right?
tripping now, Jay.
Not wait, no, wait, see, look, you
I
asked me
asked
how
you
did I
up
get to the
until
point of
then.
being married.
I let
You
you
asked me
say
how I
some
got to the
things that
point.
I ain't really all agree with you. But no, I understand the fulfillment of my man. My man need to be fulfilled with me. So my thing is if he wants this, if he wants to try that, I got a whole bunch of different wigs. I could
Yeah.
put a different wig
I
on.
don't
I
think
could
we're
be
fighting you on that. I don't think we're fighting you
We're
on
not
that.
fighting you on that.
Yeah.
We're not. So
I'm not saying that you're
so
fighting
We
me.
support that. Yeah.
Okay, let me
everyone has boundaries, right? And that's perfectly fine. But what we're talking about right now is before there's any action, before anything happens, and it's not always about sex, right? You should want to fulfill your partner, and you should understand that you're not always going to be the one that is a part of that fulfillment. So when your girl says, hey, I need to have a girls' night, we need to throw on our FM dresses and go out and have some drinks and have fun. That is her fulfillment. That fulfills her. So for you to be like, oh, you going out there, ain't nothing out there. These dudes gonna be feeling all on you wearing this little dress. That is about fear, and it's about being selfish. And I think if people were able to get over that hump of being afraid of what someone with what their person's fulfillment looks like, and understanding that it's not always going to be about them at the center of that person's fulfillment, people would make it a lot further than they do.
Now I agree with you with that. I didn't let you finish, so that was my bad. Now that because that's something I've never. If my man go out with his friends and go do all that, then that's just what he do. At the end of the day, that's one thing that I've always given my man the freedom, because my thing is if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. I don't need to go through your phone. I don't need to say don't hang with your friend. I don't need to do all those things. You know what I mean? Like, I and me nagging or me telling you no, you don't need to be out there. Like, I get what you're saying, and I completely agree when it comes to that. Because if someone, because even if you do all those things, it's not going to stop them from cheating if that's what they want to do, you know. But excuse me, with the fulfillment, I completely agree
and
with that.
and and to that point, right? So like me, Ty, a bunch of the the homies, we get together, we'll smoke cigars, and there are women who potentially could have an issue with their man going out supposedly to smoke cigars with their boys, blah blah blah. When he probably cheating, but what they don't realize is that time that we have being able to chop it up with the homies, be able to provide mental support, emotional support for each other,
Mhm.
right? To be able to do those, like we need those things. And so for a man to get, have a woman to give a man a hard time when that is a part of his fulfillment,
Mhm.
but she's worried and being selfish about what he's doing and what that means to her. She's not worried about his fulfillment at that point. And that's, that kind of scenario is where a lot of relationships break down.
Agreed. You have anything, Ty, before we go to this next question?
Nope. Let's go to the next question.
The guys are saying even if he stepped out, he can still think that his wife is the best thing ever. They are willing to risk that.
I'm not
Yeah, so I think
so
so. Like, I think this is probably a play on why I say men cheat. I say men cheat because the thrill of the hunt outweighs the risk of losing the woman. And if he feels like the woman is the best thing that he ever had and he may lose her, if he cheats, then he won't cheat. So he won't be willing to risk that, you know? So I feel like there's a lot of things that come into play when it comes to risking it, you know. Um, the history, the things that they've invested in, the kids, what that's gonna look like, with the family, or even if he even cares about all that. Um, you know, but sometimes I do still feel like he can think the wife is the best thing ever and still risks it, you know? Um, so I don't think that's gonna change because some dudes is just gluttonous and they just can't help themselves.
I'll expand it out a little bit um, to make it a little more general. So we take risks every day, right? We break laws, we speed, right? We do all of these things that a lot of times don't amount to anything. And then there are those times where you speed and you get into a car accident and kill somebody, right? And so I think there are a lot of instances where, you know, people people do things and they don't think about the repercussions because they don't think the repercussions are going to be, you know, heavy. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I won't get caught. It'll be fine. And then when they get caught, it's a problem. And so, I think it's, cheating a lot of times is like that for men, where they're like, hey, I'm speeding. I probably won't get caught, right? And then you see that cop in the meeting and you're like, oh shit. And then all of that feeling comes up like, man, like I really didn't need to be speeding. Like I'm gonna get there 3 minutes early. Like it wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
But it's too late at that point.
Yeah, it is too late.
Can I
With
use that one? Can I use that one in the future?
yep. So
See,
Hammer
girl, I
G,
was speeding, girl.
Hammer G would like to know, what are the men being honest about that they are afraid to say and being judged about?
It's a good question. Everybody got different stuff, man.
Yeah, I think if it was, I think it's pertaining to the conversation we were having earlier, and it was about men not being open up front and letting the person know that they would like to be with other people
Mm.
physically. because of, the way a lot of people feel traditional relationships should be.
Yeah, agreed. Yes, I did care about STDs back then. I just was saying, just in a sense of just me just being reckless. Like it was like YOLO, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's jump off that cliff, in Jamaica and hope that I don't break my neck on the way down because YOLO, you know what I mean? So I just was just saying just in general. So of course I cared about STDs back then. You know what I mean? So but I definitely, had my fun is what I'm saying. Let me see, where is the next? Did you star any of
Yeah,
the all of
I
them? I
I
just gotta
started.
keep them down.
Yeah, I started them all.
Okay. Oh, well, no, because there's like this question wasn't starred. So, is your wife okay with you sleeping with other women?
So we talked about being private. It's not everybody's business. Like that's the type of business I don't put out. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. Let me see. What I'm late is Jay one of Ty's player friends? No,
No,
he is a whole married man. I'm sorry because I just see the All right, let me just keep scrolling down. Okay, no, I think I got all the questions. I think I got all the questions. Okay. All right.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
There's
right.
I just added one.
Okay. Oh God, I'm scared.
I think this is a question. I think this is a question for Jay.
I don't see it,
The bottom. I
but I
put it.
do see this.
I put. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We're
sorry.
fighting each other.
Right. Sorry. Sorry. How is Ty as a brother? For me,
Jay
or
can
is
answer.
that for Jay?
Jay can answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Ty's the homie, man. Ty, we talk about support. We talk about um, the type of people that you have in your circle, and steel sharpening steel, and he's definitely one of those people. Um, I think in the small kind of clique that we have, there are a lot of very accomplished, very mature, very smart brothers, and you kind of don't make it into the circle without kind of being there, at that level. And so Ty is definitely one of those people. You know, anything you need, he's always going to be there to lend a hand. And I've been able to see that firsthand. So, um, like, can't say you know more nice things about him. Um, Good dude.
Hmm. Thanks, Jay, aka wingman of the century.
So, I definitely appreciate you, Jay. But now we're gonna have to move forward. If you would like to stay and keep up with us with the conversation, we would love to have you. But just to let you know that we're gonna move forward because I know we are in the 1, 2, 3 hour. And I would like for you guys in the chat to ask Ty anything that you want. So this segment is called Ask Ty. Just if you have a question, just make sure you hashtag and put Ask Ty, and you can ask him anything that you like.
I'll just say really quickly, my Instagram, J Brown Inc.
Oh yes.
I understand there's some folks who probably want to cuss me out directly, so you can feel free to do it there. So unpopular opinions is all good. But yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on. Sabrina, it's always good to see you. Ty, always good to chop it up.
For sure.
Hopefully, I added some flavor to it.
Thank you so
For
much.
sure.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time because I know sometimes it can get a little hard, but that's what we do here. We have those tough conversations and we just love to agree to disagree and in a very mature way. These are mature conversations that we're having. And like I said, I do appreciate it. Thank you, Ty, so much for inviting Jay. And if you want to come back anytime, we would love to have you.
For
Will
sure.
do. I'll take care.
All
All
right.
right.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye. Yay. Okay. That was cool. That was cool. A lot of good insight. A lot of good insight.
Yeah.
So How did you feel about that segment that we just had, Ty?
I feel like it's a lot of conversations that people are thinking but not
Mm-hmm.
having.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily taboo to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there could be some things that are weighing on you heavily throughout your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it's subconsciously messing up your relationship because you're not having the conversation. And I would say at least be willing to have the conversation. And you just mentioned, you know, being mature about it and being able to respectfully disagree,
Mm-hmm.
without judging someone. But at least you have an idea of how your mate feels, Because if you
Yeah.
plan to be with this person forever, like you say, you should be vulnerable enough, to let that person know your deepest, most inner thoughts and desires.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. But I will say this, that he and I communication style is completely different. And
Yeah.
I could like, and I know he's married, but I'm just saying a man like him, like the man that I dated for the 3 days,
Yeah.
that's how he act. And because
Uh-huh.
that's how he act was the reason why I couldn't date him no more.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like we would bump
Mm.
heads a lot because how I think about things
Uh-huh.
might not be how he think about things.
Uh-huh.
And because we think about things too differently, it's like because I'm like the type of person where if you're trying to talk to me about something and if I don't really understand, like I'm gonna go back and say the things that I want to say, but what you're saying might be different than how I'm receiving it and vice versa.
Hmm.
So it was like just a lot of miscommunications. And yeah, like I could never date him. I would be like, who he talking to like that? Like, why you talking to me? Like, I don't get it. Like, because I'm thinking that we talk about one thing and then in real life it's something else. And it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
He
don't know.
mentioned that sometimes it can be perceived as him being cold, when
Not
that's
necessarily cold. I wouldn't say per se it was cold.
Mhm.
It's just that, say for instance, if someone asks a question in the chat, I may, and this is exactly why I say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, because I read the question and think about it this way. You might read the question and think about it something completely different, which means both of our answers are completely different.
Mhm.
They don't go together. But your answer is your answer, and my answer is my answer with the question that was asked. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily that it was just cold. It's just that his brain and my brain and how I think and how we perceive like certain things. It's just it would be a lot of this.
I
It
get
would
you.
be a lot of this. I could tell it would be like that. But not saying that like I think he's a cool dude. Like I love the conversation. I love his perspective. I loved his insight. So thank you so much, Jay. Um, yeah, so let me see. I see. Let me see. Yep. As Ty. Last week you said you had a few single men's coming through tonight. What happened? Just was hoping to get more current single perspectives.
Yes, KP. I've been working on it. I would have there was an opportunity to get some perspectives. I know I might have some of the fellas still in the chat right now. And basically what I wanted to touch on is, you know, the male thought process when we're out dating, when we're out quote unquote hunting, and some of the the clues and tactics and things that we look for, that we see that you may not all see, that could be affecting you positively or negatively. And if there was an opportunity to touch on that either tonight or tomorrow, that was the plan. So, and sometimes, sometimes it's difficult for y'all to hear, you know, it's difficult for y'all to hear that. But I feel like it's still needed, so
Yeah. Um, what was Jay's sign?
Jay is, oh man, um, I do not know offhand. Um, but I tell you, it's July, late July, July,
Oh, he's a Leo.
July, late July, July 20. I don't want to put the birthday out there, but
Yeah.
July, July
If it's
20th.
late July, he's a July Leo because I'm a Leo.
Okay.
I'm a late Leo though. I'm August 20.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but I get along with Leos. Like I'm cool with Leos. Um, so Nichelle says, I learned I probably need to invest in cats and become a cat lady because I'm not doing all this.
Mhm.
Facts, but I don't have cats. I got two little dogs and they good, and I got a daughter, so I'm good. I'm good with it. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm off the market. I'm off the market. You know what's so funny, Ty? Last episode we talked about how I was gonna change my profile. I did, and I
You did?
kept saying I needed to send it to Ty. I gotta send it to Ty. I gotta send it to Ty. I've been so busy, I never sent it to you, but I did change it,
Okay.
and I put the stuff up there like you said. But I was like, because you remember I said I was gonna be off the market, so I was like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
be off the market. I said, but you know what? Before I get off the market, let me change my profile. Like Ty said, put everything in there, and I did. But I'm getting the same results, so I don't know.
Right. So you might get less results because you're putting out more, you know?
No, I'm getting more results,
Oh, okay.
but it's just from a bunch of people that I'm like, I ain't
Yeah.
trying to settle with.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm. Where do you meet single women? Have you tried dating apps or approaching women at the gym?
I have never talked to anyone at the gym ever in my life. I feel like for some reason, I just feel like the gym is a sacred place. I go there with my headphones on, I go there to work. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like, you have to make it clear. I normally don't even randomly approach women in public. It has to either be a lounge or a bar or something. And that's if I even approach another woman. It's really rare for me. For the most part, it just happens. You know, it just happens. I'm out, and I wanted to touch on some of the things that we see that trigger us. You know, to to beginning the hunt. I hope I'm saying that right.
Say it again.
So as men, Jay mentioned earlier, when we go out, I swear to you, that first 30 minutes to an hour is all about brotherhood, right? Catching up, how's the
Mm-hmm.
family, all that stuff. But eventually, something's going to happen, and there may be another woman in the bar that gives someone a look, or she come over and ask a question or something. And then it becomes like, blood in the water, trigger. Everything is like a trigger. And we're picking up on these clues that, you know, she either got the bag me face on or she don't touch somebody's arm a little bit too long. And then we're all just looking at each other like, I know y'all see this. This is a bit too easy, but you know.
Mm. Mm. I'm over dating. I'm over it. No, I'm tired. I am. I'm so over it.
So the thing is that I feel like we're older, right? We have a lot of things that we established in our lives, and we walk it, we carry it. Um, we are successful, and I feel like y'all can see that, and it makes us more desirable, you know. And some people know how to benefit from that, and sometimes the women take that to heart. Like, you want this highly desirable guy, and then when you get him, sometimes it's hard for you to understand that other people may want him as well.
I mean that doesn't apply to me, but I guess. Because I want other
No,
women
I
to
get it.
desire
I
women.
get
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Like
I
it's
get
because
it.
I'm so confident and secure within myself that I'm like, I mean, she bad, but guess what? I'm bad too. So, but the thing is if he step out and go try to be with the baddies and go
Hmm.
be all over there or whatever and want their attention and want all this, then guess what? Then he just don't know no better. Okay, but I'm gonna let him go because it's somebody that's gonna be just as desirable and just as fine and just as bad as he was. He gonna be bad too, and he gonna be like, yeah, I'm bad, but guess what? They cool, but what I got right here is a baddie too. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna mess it up. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So that's just where we at. But yeah, I definitely want someone that's desirable. Like I want like women to be like, can I take your order? And I'm gonna be like, yes, can we have cheeseburgers and no, I'm just joking. But yeah, I want my man to be so. Chloe Johnson, shout out to Chloe Johnson. She also is a YouTuber on YouTube. And she reviews shows and everything too. I was recently just on one of her panels that she had with Married at First Sight. So definitely check out Chloe Johnson. She is the bomb. I actually watched her when I was on Ready to Love as well. She says, y'all better answer y'all Facebook messages. That's where I met my husband, child. And honey, Chloe is happily married. And let me tell you, my ex that I actually met from the 4 years and then now and whatever, I actually met him through Facebook Messenger. So yeah, it definitely can be possible. I do, but yeah, yep, don't work for me though. Somebody said, "Don't give up, Sabrina. Have fun with no expectations," and that's all I'm doing at this point. Have fun with no expectations, and that's when you'll meet your person. Exactly, Lily, and that's where I'm at. Like I'm like, he texts me, he don't. It was just to the point where because I was like, let me meet them halfway. So if he texts me one morning, I would like make it a point. I'd be like, let me text him the next morning. Like I would try to text him a little bit early so he didn't text me first. So I would text him first so he would know like it's a mutual thing. Like I'm working just as much as you're working. But honey, it's to the point now where ain't nobody getting no text from me. You could text me good morning, beautiful, all you want to. You not getting no text. No, because they had their chance. They weren't consistent. I pretty much put it out there like, I'm interested. And they ain't followed through, which makes me feel like they're obviously dating somebody else because their time, it's like they're trying to fit me in when it's convenient for them. So, like, I'm good. I feel you, Sabrina. The unmet
So,
expectations.
question for the ladies: where do y'all draw the line? Right? Because at the beginning, you sometimes have this "it is what it is" approach. You do you, I'm gonna do me. But sometimes I feel like y'all don't want to hear about his side, right? He can do him if he's gonna be doing him, but then there are a certain set of expectations that come after a while. Like you don't really want him to do him
Well, then
anymore.
that's when conversations need to be had. Like I'm feeling well, that's the conversation that I was gonna have with dude. Remember, I told you I called him at 4 o'clock that afternoon to have that conversation, like to see like what we can do, like move. And then that's when he butt dialed me when he was in Miami. So yeah, but those conversations just need to be had. That's where communication needs to happen.
Mhm.
That's just like if I'm dating someone and it's just an open relationship, we haven't solidified anything. It's hey beautiful, hey handsome, what's going on? We done went out on a couple of dates. We not really exclusive. Yeah, when I'm feeling like I want you to be my man, like I ain't trying to look at no other man. I ain't trying to look at no more gray sweatpants. I just want to look at your gray sweatpants. I'm gonna be like, look, I'm good. Like, I'm just letting you know, like, if you're interested, I would like for us to try to see where we could like go with this, just like me and you. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. But in real life, I'm not about that life no more because y'all know I don't pursue men. I'm not doing it. If y'all
Yeah,
follow my journey, y'all know that's what I did
yeah.
in my last 3 relationships. I'm just gonna wait for my man to like.
I feel like we don't stir the pot a little bit in the comments. The block is hot right now, but I like it. I like it. It's, I
Hold on, what's going
feel
on?
I feel like y'all gonna learn a lot tonight. You know,
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sensing uh not hostility, but I'm just sensing
I think it's Jay. I think Jay did it.
yeah.
Yeah, Jay absolutely did it. Because in
That's
real
cool.
life,
Hmm.
because I feel like a lot of women think like how I think
Uh-huh.
about a lot of things, and when the questions were being asked, I feel like that a lot of them were from the answers in the chat, like they was kind of like answering it how I was kind of like getting ready to answer. And he was like, that's not what we talk about, sorry.
he said
Oh,
he said Right. I think he was.
I was like, let me sip my tea.
Yeah. I think it felt like what was going on is that you, like,
Oh, sugar.
some of the women in the chat have this traditional style of dating and being with someone, saying your man is going to want me and should only be with me and only me, and that's it for the rest of his life. And I just feel like he was just saying, you know, it may not be that all the time.
Yeah,
And if that was the case, and I'm not trying to be an a-hole, then that would be working for you,
yeah,
you know? But
yeah,
I was saying at least be open to having the conversation, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you want to step out or you're trying to step out or you want to have threesomes or all that. Just be open to, you know, your mate's thoughts and feelings and desires.
and I agree, and that's what I was saying. Like with the three-day guy,
Yeah.
like that's what it was. Like I wanted to know. I was like, do you
Mhm.
like this? Do you like that? Are you into this? Are you into that? What's the longest relationship?
Mhm.
Did you ever cheat? Like I mean, like I wanted to know. And he was, and when we was talking on the phone with the text guy, he was like, yeah, she definitely gonna call you because she talked too much. I'm
Mhm.
like, what?
Mhm.
Like, is that like that automatically? I'm like, he's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
He's definitely not the guy for me. Because if you on the phone with somebody that I don't even know and you tell this person, yeah, she talking a lot
Mhm.
anyway, she definitely gonna call you. What?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
if we in a relationship, what would you do? Like
yeah.
what is
Yeah.
hurtful? But
And I think I'm only touching on that because that topic is, a very, very sensitive topic for a guy, right?
mhm,
Like you're literally risking how your woman is going to feel about you forever, right? For you to
yeah,
mention that you may have a desire to be with someone else. And we mentioned vulnerability, we mentioned having a safe space, right? We mentioned even joking around, like we cry too, we're afraid to be judged.
mhm,
And if we feel like that is something that we're willing to talk about and it's not being perceived well, then it's going to make us close off on other things and other conversations as well, you know?
yeah.
So,
But the thing is if you are having these type of conversations with someone that you're trying to pursue a healthy relationship with, then those conversations shouldn't be that tough. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right.
And if
You're
and
right.
if it's to the point where she wants to judge you for the rest of your life because of your honesty, then she not the one for you. That's the universe saying, boop, she not the one. Move on.
Right. And I'm speaking from experience. I feel like, it can get to a point to where the guy feels like it consumes you to a point where we can't even drive up and down the street without someone jogging by and you happen to glance because you see movement. Now
Hmm.
she think that that's the girl that you want to have a threesome with.
But then that's
You know what I
her.
mean?
That's her, and
Yeah.
that's not you. Because me, I'm like, dang, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna be like, she bad, she bad. And the fact, if you don't like look, it would make me be like, why he ain't look at her? Cause I looked at her, she was baddie. Like, why he ain't look? Like, is he undercover? Like, hold on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
would start thinking those guys. That's just me because I'm a little crazy. But you're absolutely right. But the thing is at, like I said, at the end of the day, if you can't have those kind of conversations with her, then she's just not ready. She's coming from a very insecure, unhealed place.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just what it is, because I'm very confident, I'm healed, it is what it is. Like I can't stop you from not looking. I can't stop you from having a conversation with the waitress. I can't stop you from hanging out with your boys. I can't stop you from having this chick call you and you like, yo, I don't know why she keep calling. I told her to leave me alone. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not your fault. These things aren't your fault. It's something that I would have to deal with personally.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, then you just need to be cognizant and understand, like, these are red flags with her.
Hmm.
and you don't need to deal with her, because that was the things that I used to do. I used to ignore those red flags, and I used to try to make, like I would always say, I would try to make that square fit into my circle, when it's just not gonna happen. Like, it's just not gonna happen. It's just, we're just not compatible, you know. But anywho, I'm sorry. Let me go back up. Wait, so a lot of guys are just, I don't know what, hold on. Wait, so a lot of guys are just waiting on a look or something from a lady. Y'all gonna be single a long time. I don't do that. LOL. Approach, approach, approach.
Yeah,
um,
we need we need something. You know what I mean? We
yeah.
need something. Like, we know a golden rule is not to approach you from behind,
Mm,
right? Um, there's got to be a look, some type of acknowledgement that I exist at a minimum before I go over there, or you're gonna see me coming. Something, you know what I mean? Something.
yeah. Yes, I would hire a professional matchmaker, but I don't have no money right now. Since men, as ties, since men, if your caliber are typically not wanting to settle for just one, do you suggest BW, look at local prisons, AA meetings, and other support groups for love? I'm going to step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
I think KP trying to be funny. No, black women should not look at prisons, aid meetings. Like, there are great men out there. And I believe that in our heart of hearts, we want to be with one woman. We do. Um, the only thing that we were talking about earlier was that there would be desires. There would be desires physically, and we would want to be able to express those with our partners without feeling like we're being judged. And that's simply all we were saying. And if you're in that position to where you prefer to be with other people, then that is a conversation that you should have at the beginning of the relationship. I feel like there are some good men that may have already shot their shot with you, and you've been turning them down for months. You probably know a good guy that wants to be with you right now, but he don't meet your criteria for what you want. Like, there's a reason there's a lot of guys out here single because, you know, it, and the thing is, and we mentioned this, I think we mentioned this in the last conversation, is that a lot of us are not um, honest about, you know, who we are. And I don't want to say what we deserve. I just feel like sometimes when I hear women and men speak about what they want, and they have this long list of needs and wants and things that this other person should have, I always flip it and say, if that other person did exist, that superhuman that you just created from, the planet Krypton, if he did exist, would he want you? And if you can truthfully answer yes in that, then yeah, go get it. Aim high. You should always aim high. So, oh yeah, I mean, if shoot, I wouldn't recommend prisons or AA meetings or people that have, I don't want to call them issues. You should definitely go somewhere else. Um, when we talk about high, I don't even want to say high caliber men. I just feel like older, well established guys have worked towards something. Like, it wasn't easy getting there. It wasn't easy getting there. And they just don't want to. Is risk a good word? They don't want to risk it on a woman that has potential. I would much rather risk it, with someone that is also established like me or more than me. That's all. So yeah, look look deep within yourself. Yeah, you should have expectations. You should. But I would say that it is okay to reevaluate your expectations. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying change them. I'm saying every now and then have an expectation audit. Oh man.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of going through. Mm, did I miss anything? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I already say this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so basically, we women should be selfish and do everything we want as long as it benefits us while dating and in a relationship, also known as compartmentalize.
no. I'm saying have those conversations about what you want and what you desire. Sometimes, that may be allowed. The question is, be
Mhm.
selfish and do everything we want as long as it benefits us. Yeah, if it's going to benefit you and not hurt the other person, and that other person's okay with it, then do it. I really think it's not that complicated at all.
Chloe says that's insecure because sometimes when women act like that,
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. Like we're all affected by someone or something that happened in our past, right? I still struggle with it, trusting, but you got to learn to deal with that. Um, and if you're still assuming the worst, I feel like it's because that dude is, there's a reason you're feeling that. There's a reason that dude is not making you feel secure.
hmm, yep, like that's how I feel. It's so funny because the ex, he used to he would do things. The most recent time he would do things, and every time he would do something, I would be like, you know what, I'm about to go. Like I'm going. Or
Yeah,
he would say something, I'd be like, I'm about to get off the phone. And he would, and me and him, we had a hard conversation. And he was like, one thing that made me feel some type of way about you, talking about me, is he says that I'm always leaving. And I'm like, but that sounds like reverse psychology to me because like you trying to manipulate the situation. Because my thing is the reason I always leave is because you always doing something. Like I'm not going to allow you to keep doing messed up stuff to me and I stay. Like that doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
deuces.
Deuces.
Yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, so like I'm not gonna do that. He's like trying to, you always leave, and that's when, because I have a fear that one day if we get together you gonna leave. I'm like, guess what, I'm gonna let you know right now, if you do something to make me leave, I'm gonna have to let you know right now that I'm absolutely gonna leave,
mhm,
100%. So guess what, I'm not the woman for you, okay?
mhm.
No, no, I wasn't. LOL, Ty. It genuinely feels that way these days. Thanks for responding. As Ty, would a woman have multiple children depending on how many baby daddies it is a deal breaker when meeting Sabrina?
Is having multiple children by multiple fathers a deal breaker? No. A lot of it would depend on the situation. A lot of it is, identifying what your limit is. You know, understandably, your limit may be three, four. There are things that you may have to understand depending on your situation as well. I have a daughter, so I can't be hypocritical about that, about someone else having children. If I'm going to ask her to accept my child, everyone's situation is different. The approach is different. The relationships are different, and it's all about understanding what you can accept at the beginning when it comes to those situations, and what you can allow, what that past relationship is like. If they're present, how present are they? Um, Things like that, because you don't want to keep that child away from their biological parent. You would I'm hoping that you would want to support that.
Yeah, I agree. My thing is I've actually dated someone with three baby moms. I want to say he might have four. No, he had three. He just took care of another woman. Like they called him dad, but they weren't his kids or something like that. So, and I just feel like every situation is different. My thing is that If you taking care of your kids, you ain't no baby mama drama. They not all over here talking all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? You can take care of what's going on over here, and you taking care of what's going on over there. Like, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's blend the family. But yeah, like, and yeah, and it ain't, as long as it ain't no issues. Like, I'm good with it. I don't have no problems with it. Because what if I had like 3 or 4 kids by 3 different baby daddies, and like I wouldn't want to be judged, because of that. But that's just me. I know some women are like, no, after 2 or 3, like, I'm good or whatever. My thing is like I said, as long as he treat his kids good, he taking care of his kids, he making sure this home is good too, ain't no baby mama drama, like, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? Ask Ty, what type of man do you think would be good for Sabrina?
All right. I think Sabrina needs someone that is um, publicly a good guy, you know,
What you mean publicly?
good looking, that is going to treat her right. It's going to show her that he is all about her. But I feel like she needs a different type of dude in the bedroom.
Like a lady in the streets, but a freak in the bed.
Yeah. And if he has the ability to go back and forth like that, I think she'll be all right.
Yeah, those are the ones that be cheating, though. Like, I've had them. I've had them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had them, and they were amazing. Okay, but yeah, they just be cheating though. Because they just not they. Golly. Ask Ty, what did your last relationship teach you about yourself?
That is a really good question. In my last relationship, I felt like I had all the answers.
Mm.
I did. I felt like I had all the answers, and I felt like I was basically solidifying my boundaries, and it's further establishing what I felt love is and what I felt what love isn't. And I feel like it just really, really put me in a position where I can um, be better at having the tough conversations. And before walking into the relationship, I already knew a lot about myself. I figured out a lot of things about myself, but I wasn't able to really put it into practice in a relationship like I was able to do in the last one.
Hmm. Do you feel like you're ready for marriage?
No,
No?
no,
Wow.
no.
Why do you say no?
Okay, let me bring it back. I mean, I can be honest about that and say, you know, I probably will not think about marriage, for at least another year or so. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
just
mean,
not.
that's
It's
good.
just
Yeah.
not something that I want right now. I want to enjoy life. I want to have a partner. That I'm enjoying life with, but I
Hmm.
don't think I want uh, to have that lifelong commitment to someone
Do you want a
called,
monogamous
called
partner?
marriage.
I'm sorry.
I can be monogamous, no problem. I have no
So,
issues being monogamous. Yeah.
so right now you're just at a place in your life where you're interested in, not interested, but if you were to meet someone where you could be in a relationship and y'all are exclusive, you're
Mhm.
just not ready for marriage. And if a year or two from now that comes up with you and that partner, then it does. But right now, you
Yeah,
just
the
want to.
goal, the goal is partnership. I want to establish a partnership. Can we be compatible? Can we grow? Can we work towards something? Can we build something?
Hmm.
Can we have conversations? Can we be vulnerable?
Hmm.
I want
So,
to go through all those cycles of figuring those things out.
but the end goal is to eventually be married.
No,
Mm.
I don't feel like I have to be married.
Mm, mm.
If you're my partner, you're my partner.
Right, right. Agreed. Agreed. Mm. Okay. Mm. Um. Uh, yeah, like Nick Cannon. I
Somebody,
think that's what we talked.
yeah,
Huh?
somebody mentioned girth in the comment. Good Lord,
Oh, was this one? I just want a homie lover friend who respects me, who's not broke, with at least girth. I can work with that.
So I wasn't gonna say it, but that's been the new phrase. Respectfully casual. You
Yeah,
know, respectfully casual. Don't It don't mean you out there. You're just respectfully casual. You can talk about what the specifics of that means.
that's
It's
all I
simple as that.
wanted.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking the 3 day guy. I
Hmm.
was like, he might be a new person. Like, he might be,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we might have to fill him in the slots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure it just made sense. And
Hmm.
he messed that up because I wasn't trying to be his wife. I wasn't trying to be in a relationship. I wasn't trying to, but maybe that's what he was looking for. I just, because I'm kind of like where you are. And yeah, respectfully, like I would love this. I would love this right here. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so hard.
Hmm.
It's just so hard. It's so hard. Like I be trying to tell him, like don't act up. Like we just gonna enjoy each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how my last situationship was. I was like, I ain't trying to be with you. I don't want you to try to be with me. Like we good. Like what we got here is good. You know what I'm saying? I can't predict the future. Whatever happens, happens. But right now, let's just like you don't gotta keep texting me if I don't answer the phone. And I'm not gonna text you. I'm probably never gonna text you. You're probably gonna be in your feelings because I don't text you.
Hmm.
I don't want you to be upset with me if I don't. But if you want to holler at me, you can holler. But if I don't answer, you can't get in your feelings.
Hmm.
But on Saturday nights, I'm usually available after 11. Now, I don't need no problems. You know
Uh,
what I'm saying? I don't need no, like, let's just be cool. Let's just be cool. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And then they be like, yeah, we got that. We got that. Like, this good. You know what I'm saying? 3.5 months and 2 days down the road. Why you ain't answer your phone? I be like, who you
Right.
talking to? Like, you talking about this phone right here? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Somebody wants to know your zodiac sign.
I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm an Aquarius.
Would you date a woman that wants more children? Oh, good question.
I would. I
What?
would. It would be fun to try. You know, it'd be fun to
Oh.
try. No, I'm just joking. Ask Ty, would you date a woman that wants more children? Yes, I would. I am not opposed to more children. If I'm going to be blessed with another child, I would, embrace that. It's
It's cool that men can say that.
Yeah, it's not I'm 50-50. I'm good with or without. Um,
Mm,
I think I think I would prefer not to at this point if I had to choose.
mm-hmm.
But if it happened, I would embrace it and enjoy my child and love my child.
Yeah. As Ty, what is the difference between marriage and partnership? Mm.
A ring, an
Piece of
official
paper.
title and paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How the government can tax you differently. That's it.
Yeah, prenups and money going to you should anything happen.
Yeah. So, say for instance, you got into a relationship, Ty. Would you ever do like a situation where you come in, you know, like she's the one, would you be like, look, this is my bank statement, this is all my documentation, like this is everything? Like, would you do all that, or would you be like, we could have a joint checking account and I am asking for a prenup, or would you be more like that?
Um, all right. So to clarify, I'm not single, right? I do have a person that I am focusing on. I feel like when you're in a relationship and you're preparing for a long-term partnership, then you need to have those conversations. So I have been there where, I've disclosed financial information and all that. And I think it's good to know where you stand. You know, because I'll just say it, I've worked really, really hard to get to where I am. And if I feel like I need to do the same thing for you as well, it's gonna make me feel some kind of way.
Mm, mm. So can you let everybody know, Ty, that you're not dating me? Let's just go, because everyone's
No,
gonna.
no, me and Sabrina have never touched each other. We have never dated. Never.
Yeah, the most that you saw of us dating was on TV. And that didn't go
Yeah.
very far.
Honestly, the most time we spend together, y'all have seen it. Y'all have
Facts.
seen it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah, we're just really really good friends. That's it. So no, it's not, because people be like, it's Sabrina. Like, no, it's not. We're just cool. Chloe says that's why you have to have expectations, because partnerships and marriage is different. Ladies, tell them what you expect from the relationship and don't waste your time. Facts, facts, facts. And then you know what he says? You talk too much.
Hmm.
I'm never gonna let that go. I couldn't
Hmm.
believe he said that. I was like, did he just say I talk too much?
Hmm.
I do talk a lot, but it's different. I'm trying to get to know you.
Hmm.
Loser. Do you consider yourself a high value man, or do you not subscribe to that YouTube BS? Also, I'm confused how you say it's okay for a chick to have multiple baby daddies, then say you want one woman. I'm thinking that's what she meant.
I'll try to answer that. I believe high value is subjective. I do feel like I have a lot to offer. I feel like just the basic foundation of me is more than enough for you to be happy about bringing me home. Just values alone. Um, so the second part where it says okay for a chick to have multiple baby daddies, and then say you want one woman. I think that's what they're saying. I hope I'm reading that right. I hope I'm answering it right. But like I said, um, you just need to identify what you're willing to accept when it comes to multiple kids, multiple uh, parents that are present, that are not present. And I feel like that's something that you need to have conversations with about yourself now, so you're not caught off guard when you do meet someone.
SJ would like to know,
Ah,
why do you think you are single? I thought you answered
I,
that.
I got close to it. So again, I'm
Yeah,
not single. I do have someone
yeah.
um, that I do focus on. But I would say I'm very selective these days. It wasn't always the case. But I'm very selective, and I am subconsciously thinking about my future as
Mm-hmm,
well. And when I
mm-hmm,
say future, it doesn't necessarily mean um, the end goal. It just means currently, like, can I exist with you to begin with? You know?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Does a man marry the woman who agrees to that kind of arrangement ever?
Yes. Like there are entire. I told y'all there's various levels to this uh dating spectrum, to the lifestyle. Look it up, the lifestyle. SLS is there's a whole range, and there's a whole set of different rules that a lot of people just think are taboo. and you should have those conversations. Like, you could probably have what you want from your husband if you were to just talk about it, no matter how outrageous you think it is.
Hmm.
Just be willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And my brother was in the NFL, so those NFL wives, like, they have a lot of good perks. They
Mm,
just have to accept, that their man is going to be out there for
right.
the most part.
Exactly why I never full time dated an athlete. Like, did I date them? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Some very well known athletes,
Uh-huh.
very well known, and
Uh-huh.
we had a lot of fun. And they was tripping. Okay, I don't care who they are. At the end of the day, just because that person in whatever field, actor, whatever comedian, whatever, it doesn't matter. They still human and they still be having feelings. And that's why I can't. They want to be out there doing what they want to do. And I was like, I ain't trying to do all that. And then when they want to leave, how you gonna leave me? Hey, I'm such and such and such. I don't care who you, I don't care how many tackles, how many touchdowns. I don't care. I don't care how many rings you got. No, you're not gonna do that. But I find somebody deuces. I don't know. Yeah, people. Anyway, let me see. Who agrees to that kind of? Oh, here we go. Do you think we subconsciously search for our mother, father in relationships? Asked Ty.
Do you? The question is, do I think we subconsciously search for our mother or father in relationships? I would say the answer is no, but I think we subconsciously gravitate to people that have the qualities of our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly feel like it's like a magnet, to where there are opposite ends of that attraction, to where there's a piece of you that draws you in closer, but there's also a piece of you that will say, like, I don't want that, but I'm comfortable with that, and I know how to deal with that. But it's not necessarily what you may want, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I see that a lot. I see it a lot. And there are things that I enjoy when I feel like a woman is like my mother, but then there's also things that trigger me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
yeah. You actually talked about that on the show, some didn't you?
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I subconsciously am definitely not searching for my mother or my father. Um, as Ty, do you think that it is important to prejudge somehow off of horoscopes? That's my new thing now. I think that it is good or important. I think that it is good or important to know what you are walking into.
That is a good question. For the record, I just posted a link. I don't think it matters, but I think you should be aware. There are some horoscopes I found, in my history and my dealings, that everyone's been very similar. You know, everyone's been very similar. In my the link that I just posted, I just tweeted uh, how I feel about Scorpios, and I'm sure there's people that feel a certain way about Aquariuses. I've been called can't get right. You know, um, and I think that may be a trait of an Aquarius. So, oh, I posted it in the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Um, I definitely think you should be aware, but it really shouldn't matter in the end.
Mhm. Absolutely. No, he is not dating Aisha. I don't know what made y'all think that it was Aisha. What in the world? Goodness gracious, guys. No, he's not dating Aisha. You know what? Let's hear it from Ty's mouth. Ty,
No,
ask Ty,
I
are
am
you
not.
dating
I am
Aisha?
not dating Aisha.
Okay. Oh God, jeez. Okay. You said drop names or initials. Nope, can't
No.
do it. Mm-mm. That's one thing I'll never ever do. Is I never ever do that. Oh God. I never ever do that. Yes. Oh, that's the tweet. Um, I am. Oh, that's funny that it comes from my name when you do that. Oh. Um, Dollface says, "Yeah, I'm an Aquarius and I won't date a Scorpio." I
I
don't
feel
really.
like, yeah, I feel like, you know, you guys see the tweet, you know, I feel like I might be ready. I wouldn't come for the Geminis. My daughter's a Gemini, you know, they cool.
Ask Ty, what do you say to the man who is opposed to therapy? Good question.
That is a very good question. I am not opposed to therapy, but I was very, very stubborn about therapy. I think it's your approach to the therapy and you know how you bring it to him. If you feel like he definitely needs it and is just refusing to get it, that's a different story. But you have to understand that, you know, therapy for some people is something that you can't come back from. You know, like once you agree to therapy, then it's almost like you're officially agreeing that you need help, you know,
Mhm,
and you're officially, you know, admitting that what you're doing by yourself is not enough. And for
mhm,
some people, that's hard to come back from. So that is just something to be cognizant of when it comes to therapy, especially, you know, when you're actually paying someone, you know, to almost tell you what you already know is wrong with you.
mhm. Yeah. And just to let you know too, and when Ty said like needing help, not necessarily saying that something is wrong with you,
Mhm.
because people need to understand too, like when you get into therapy it doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Therapy could just be, you know what, I'm actually amazing and I just would like someone to talk to about the things that went
Yeah.
on, you know today or this week and what happened at work, and I wonder why she said what she said to me at work. And it doesn't mean that like you're mentally challenged or anything like that. So because a lot of people, I think that's why people shy away from saying like they've gotten therapy or that they're getting therapy. Like, I don't know, maybe society back in the day made us feel like getting therapy was like, oh, you getting therapy, something must be wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think now, especially people like Ty, we're trying to spread the word to let everyone know, like, just because you're getting therapy doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. You do have to protect your peace. You have to protect your mental health. And getting therapy sometimes is just therapeutic, you know? Just like when I take a bath and put some Epsom salt in it, it doesn't mean like I'm hurting. It just means that sometimes I just might want to soak in a bathtub with some Epsom salt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Let me let my dogs back inside. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Some of y'all's trying to start trouble. I'm gonna bring this out while she's gone. Um, Pamela, I think we tried it. I think we did try, and I don't know. I think we have a really good understanding of each other. I think at this point it's probably better to be friends because it works. The dynamic that we have now works. All right, she gone. Have I ever dated a Taurus woman before? I do not believe so. Um, I want to say mid-May, June, babies, December, February 14th, things like that. I kind of don't even pay attention to horoscopes really. Um, Scorpios are misunderstood. Mm.
Hmm.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
What is this? Ask Ty, have you ever dated a Taurus woman before? If so, how did it go? Also, Sabrina, have you ever dated a Taurus man? That 3-day guy was Taurus. So, nope. And I don't never want to date one. I'm just joking. I don't know. I've never dated a Taurus, but that 3 day guy was a Taurus. Mm. Did you already answer, Ty?
Yeah, I answered.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, okay. How you feel? How you feel about Cancer women? Oh, did you already answer all these? What is funny?
I want to say she was a Cancer right before I got on the show, and I want to say that one was the one that probably hurt. I was in my feelings about
Do
that
tell.
one being different. Like it was weird. Like it was almost like she had the ability to be alone for extended periods of time. And if we didn't talk, if I didn't call, it was like it was cool and it was like really weird.
Ain't nothing wrong
Because
with that.
she was just okay, like in her own world, you know? And it was almost like military friends when we're together. It's great. It's like we've been together this whole time. But, 4 days can go by, 5 days can go by, and I'm thinking I'm in trouble when I call. And she cool, just living her life. It was really weird. I believe she was a Cancer. Really believe that.
Trust me, it
But look,
has nothing to do with her horoscope. Cause, like I just said it, like sometimes that's what I do. Like I just be chilling. Like it doesn't mean that I don't like you any less. It just means that I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're like exclusive and you like you my girlfriend and I'm like you my boyfriend and we together. Now if we together, oh, was y'all together?
uh-huh,
And you still didn't hear from her for like 3 or 4 days and y'all was like in a relationship?
uh-huh.
Oh, now that's different. I wish you two who I really believe Ty is understanding of whose needs.
I already gave my perspective. Now you gotta give your
What
perspective.
does it hurt to just try? You are both smart and good friends. That's how it starts off. What's the question? um, I think Ty is an amazing man. I do. You know. I think that I can honestly say this. If we hadn't gotten too far into our friendship, if he approached me and was like what's up, like maybe, and I might have been like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? But I think we're so far gone now into the almost my brother and I'm almost his sister kind of. Like I just think we're too far gone into it now. That's just where I'm at. I I don't take anything from him, you know what I mean? Like he's an amazing man and whoever ends up with Ty is going to be one lucky woman. But like I love Ty, you know? Like I can't predict the future, but I know in my heart how I feel about him and I love him and I don't and I love him in a way where like I care about his well-being like in a brotherly sense. You know what I mean? Cause I be calling him, I'll be like, "What you doing? You all right? You good? Like, you eat?" You know. So I mean, that's just like where we are. So yeah. What did you say? You on mute?
So you're gonna have to rewind to the 2 hour and 15 minute mark
Oh my gosh!
when you walked away. I put it
Oh,
up there.
okay. I had to let the dogs in. Um, okay, so let's get right. Let me see. As Ty, what point in the relationship do you think people should move in together or should they move in before marriage?
I honestly don't feel like there's any rule to that. If you have some flexibility to move in and move out, give it a shot. I know I was close, since we're being honest. I was close to moving in with someone. I considered it. Um, when you are, we call it nesting, and nesting is when you're looking at the finances, you're really taking it into consideration if you could be with this person, and living with them is part of that process. So I feel like it's better to know if you can live with them before marriage, you know, before it's too late.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't even want to go in the chat no more. Okay, so okay, one more question. This is the
Oh my
last one.
God.
Ask Ty. The whole time Sabrina is looking for her person and he is literally right in front of her. And she just described the best beginning that is different from all of the others. Anyway, did you want to say something, Ty?
Some of y'all just like starting trouble. Some of y'all just like chaos, I guess. You know?
Oh god. Okay. So tonight was amazing. Okay. I feel like we can just sit up here and chit chat like all
Yeah.
the time. Like I feel like I want to take y'all into bed with me and be like, so what else you say? Like what they say? Like let me go in the chat. What you say, girl? Let me tell you what she said. Lord Tyrone, what you think about that? Like I feel like that's just what we are. I love you, my soulmate family. Like y'all are so freaking amazing. I wouldn't trade anything for nothing for you guys. Like you always make an amazing night. You guys in the chat, like y'all always come correct. Y'all always have my back. I love you guys so much. Shout out to my amazing co-host Tyrone at Wilson21. Ty, do you have any projects coming up?
I actually do. I actually just started a new one. It's gonna be a faceless YouTube page.
You mentioned that, so you are gonna do it.
Yeah, I got the logo coming in tomorrow. And it's just one of those things where I just don't want to say anything about it. I want it to grow
Mm-hmm.
organically.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do have a personal YouTube channel at Ty Wilson 21. I'm on there a lot. I also have a company channel at Cover Six Solutions where I talk a lot of cybersecurity, different topics about cybersecurity. Yeah, so come follow me there. I'm at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. And it's always fun. It's always fun.
Always.
Yeah.
Always fun. Okay, so I have to ask, what is, because you've already said it here on my channel in front of people, what is the Faceless channel going to be about? Like, what are the topics? Like, what is it going to be about? We just have to wait and see, or do you want to tell us? Because you have to think, like, you have to want to get us excited. Like, if it's something good, we could be like, oh, and then when it happens, we could be like, oh, like, we got to subscribe, we got to watch it, we got to watch. You can't keep us in suspense.
Because
You
like
can't forget.
it's one of those things where you don't want anyone to like take your usernames and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you because it's not.
I was going to say, but you don't have to tell us the name. Just kind of tell us like what it's about. Well,
Oh,
that kind
okay,
of,
okay.
yeah,
I'll tell
yeah,
you what
yeah,
it's
yeah,
about.
yeah. Just
I'll tell
kind
you
of
what
tell us
it's
what it's
about.
about.
I won't tell you the name.
No name, no name. Just tell us what it's about.
I'm not trying to get in trouble for this, but I want to create the anti World Star Hip Hop.
Hold on, say that again.
I want to create the opposite of World Star Hip Hop, where it's going to be a channel dedicated to positive imagery of Black people, and that's it. That's all it's going to be.
World Star Hip Hop. Oh,
So in World Star, every time there's a fight or some drama,
right,
Black
right,
women
right. I
want to
didn't think
record
about
that, and they want to, I call it black exploitation, black exploitation. But I want the positive stuff where you can come to my channel, and if you want, there'll be separate playlists of just pop, positive Black men doing stuff, positive Black women doing stuff, positive children doing stuff. And if you just want, we're going to get to a point where you can play this playlist and have 24 hours of just straight videos of Black people doing something positive.
it. Yeah. So,
That's it. So the
so
yeah,
when this
it's coming.
happens, I would love to, after you get your logo, after you get your channel, after you get everything done, I
Yeah,
would love to have you on the missing link, and I would love to interview you
yeah,
about covered six, and then we can move
hmm
into the faceless star.
yeah. So it won't be my voice. I don't think. But I just put it up. It's going to be called Blositivity.
Oh golly, I saw it. I didn't think you was gonna say it out loud though.
Yeah, bump it. Y'all know if y'all see it, you know, spread the word.
Yeah, that's pretty tight, definitely. Well, once it gets going, definitely I would love to have you on, so we can get you some subscribers, we can get you some followers, and we can get some people to support you over there, and so you could become monetized as well. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, I love you
I
so
think
much,
that
you
yeah,
guys.
I think the top is going to sell itself. So that's
Yeah.
why it's faceless. I don't have to promote it. I don't have to do no comments. Like it should be, its own, stand on its own. It should. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Oh God, real quick. Oh God, I was trying not to hit the don't. Okay, sorry guys. Don't leave just yet. Real quick. What do you think about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, the divorce, the settlement where she is going to receive $200,000 a month for the kids, and she's getting like 8 homes, I think it is. What are your thoughts on that? You two guys in the comment section.
I mean, technically, she's not supposed to need that, right? Like she's nearly a billionaire on her own, right? It's most likely relative to his net worth and what their lawyers worked out. 200K for that's a lot, you
Yeah.
know, that's a lot. Um, especially, I feel like he's been able to see a lot of things that he's probably kept a lot of it quiet. I also feel like he's done some things that she's being quiet about. And I just feel like they probably reached a point of no return in their relationship a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just existing, for the children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, in my heart of hearts, it's a sad situation, the things that they're going through. There's probably things that we won't understand as just like, people that aren't part of that life or don't know what those numbers mean, you know. Um, but damn, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
it is. And from my understanding, this was not court ordered. This is something that they talked about and he said that he would do.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand that. I was in that same situation. Like, I don't want to go to court. I do not want to see my kids' names and lights. I will provide for my child. Let me know what you want. You know what I mean? So you can go through that arbitration at the beginning and discuss the financials, discuss custody, discuss visitation, and make it quick and easy and painless. And if 200K is painless for him, for me, I knew my daughter's mom would be a good mom. So I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really worried about the money. So he probably feels the same way. He may not like her as a person, but agrees that she's a good mom and that's the number that he's okay with for providing for his children, then more power to him, right? Because I feel like if it was a low number, they would get on him,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, he almost a billionaire. He got all this money. Why he only paying 10K? So he can't win, when it
Yeah,
comes to that.
yeah. And that's boils down to Erica Mena in Safari. She broke down because she's only getting like $4,000 a month from Safari. And she's like, she's upset. She's like, only $4,000 a month. She's like, I'm raising 2 kids by myself. And it's so crazy because with their situation, and I don't have a picture up with them, but with their situation, if you guys follow Safari and Erica Mena, He chased her for years. He was pretty much like obsessed with Erica. Finally gets her and then just like dogs her out. Like, don't take care of the kids, not in their life. Like,
Yeah, I'm
just
not laughing about that.
crazy. Were
I
you
mean, I
laughing?
might have chuckled a little bit, but no, I'm not laughing about that. I
4,000.
wonder, I wonder what she originally asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you only got 4,000, I wonder what she asked for. 10, 20?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
wonder
But
what Kim originally asked for.
yeah, I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's a lot of money. I'll take $500 a month. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, they talking about 4,000, 20,000, and I know it's based on their lifestyle and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't got expensive lifestyle, but in my heart, I feel like it's a very expensive lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. It's like, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely rich people problems because it's definitely not my problem over her. So next up we have. Oops,
Yay.
oops. Did I switch it?
Yeah.
Hold on. My. Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. Is it on the screen? Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
So, Ready to Love's Joy and Clifton have been announced as the one of the new couples that will be on the new Love and Marriage DC, which will be airing in January. I want to say the 23rd. So, Sherelle, the trainer, which is over there in the corner in the circle with her husband. I don't know if you guys know who Sherelle, the trainer, is. So, Sherelle and her husband, they actually went viral. Literally, all the news channels, everybody was talking about them because he actually proposed to her and then they got married the exact same day. Like he had everything planned out. He had her dress, the location, everything, the people, everything. And it was all documented. Of course, people had their camera phones out. And when it happened, yeah, it went viral. So the day that he asked her to marry him was the same day they got married. And that's who Sherelle, the trainer, and her husband are. Now, Cliff and Joy, Tyrone, do you have anything to say
I'm
about?
happy. Yeah, I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm,
I'm happy for them.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
I said that
do it
I.
big.
You said what?
I said do it big. Do it big. I hope they have a really, really good success story.
Mm-hmm,
Something for, the world to talk about.
mm-hmm.
I wish them nothing but positive vibes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I just hope that it's going to be hard for me. People are asking me, am I going to review the show? It's going to be really hard for me to review this show because y'all know I always keep it 100 because I feel like I know too much of the behind the scenes. I feel like I know too much of the back end. And like, I ain't no fake person by far. And it's going to be hard for me to review and to discuss what I see on the screen with the stuff that I know
Yeah. So
kind
I
of
think,
really happened.
yeah, I think what I only thing that I was gonna say about that is, you know, a lot of people want the lights, but it also allows the world to see who you are. And
Facts.
there's a lot of couples that don't make it through that. And you can see what it's doing to other couples,
Yeah.
what the limelight is doing to other couples.
Yeah.
So, I just hope the best for them.
Yeah. I definitely hope the best for him too. I'm just not that excited. And I think what it is because I'm gonna keep it 100. When their season was going on, and you guys know I do the missing link, and you guys know what the missing link is. It's to uplift, other entrepreneurs, and to encourage and to inspire people like that are entrepreneurs, and to I try to bridge the gap between the consumer and also aspiring entrepreneurs of the people that's in the field, of the people that I'm interviewing. So when Ready to Love Potomac was on, from my understanding, people came to me that was on their season that I asked, to like be on the show, or we talked about it or whatever. And they pretty much told me that Joy and Carmen was like, don't talk to Sabrina. Don't talk to this person. Don't talk to Ready to Love DC. Those people are just trying to stay relevant. Don't talk to them. No, don't do Sabrina's show. No, no, don't talk to her. And I'm just like, what? So for them to act like that really like hurt my feelings, because I'm like, in real life, it's not like I really don't need you guys to be relevant in real life. I don't. I don't. Like, I'm good over here just in my little lane, you know what I mean? And for them to like come for me like that, and I really didn't know them like that, really like hurt my feelings, you know what I'm saying? So, especially Carmen, she's the number one. She's the number one person too. And I've never done anything to her, but she, didn't like that I said that she was not a nice person for calling Sabrina a bitch, and she ain't like my comment, and then she blocked me on social media. I don't talk to her, she don't talk to me, but every time she got something to say about me, she say it, and it is what it is. So it's gonna be hard for me to review that show. Because in real life, I don't care for certain people. And, but I am going to review the show because I didn't really appreciate how they was in my pocket, and they was trying to mess up my money, because at the end of the day, I wasn't working full time, and YouTube was all I had at that time. That's how I make, majority of my money. And when you messing with my money, and when you like in my bag, telling people don't interview with me, don't do this, don't do that, I got a problem with that. You that's real disrespectful. So yeah, we gonna see how that go. I didn't think that I was gonna say all that tonight, but yeah. But congratulations to them. Kudos to them. I definitely hope that it works out for them, and they get everything that their heart desires from being on the show. You know what I mean? I love Jamie and Arena. Love them. Um, Quick, he's cool. I don't really know Ashley too much. I only met her once. She's gorgeous. I think she's hilarious. But yeah, other than that, you have anything else to say, Ty?
Um, I what's weird is that I see them sometimes, and when I do not join Clifton, but uh, the other couple. So Quick is
Mm-hmm.
always, they're always in the same section at the same place. So I
Yeah.
save it up, show my support and all that stuff. And it's because I know it's not easy to be on
TV.
TV. You know, um, there's pros and cons that come with that, and if you can manage it well, you can do really really well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can also let it, you know, consume you. It can shine the light on a lot of things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
I'm just
just hope.
just gonna try to just gonna stay positive about,
Right.
them and their relationship and
Yeah. Absolutely. And I hope that it's real.
mhm.
I hope that it's real, because I tell you this, if it's not, we will definitely know, and we will definitely see, and we will definitely find out. And that's just the thing. Um yeah, but more power to them. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm definitely going to review it. Um so yeah, it is what it is. But kudos to them. Shout out to them. Shout out to Carlos King. Shout out to Jamie and Arena, Ashley and Quick, and Joy, and Clifton. Yeah. Um. Other than that, yeah. So 2:43. Thank you so much, guys. I love you so much. It's been, I know, 2 hours and 43, and I literally have to get ready to edit. While we were on my Vlogmas from yesterday, finally uploaded. Oh my God. I've been working on it since last night, 11 p.m. It was supposed to be on, but it did not. It just uploaded. So if you guys want to leave here, don't forget to hit that like button. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you here with my soulmate family. Don't forget to subscribe over to Tyrone's channel. New channel coming soon. And yeah, other than that, definitely comment down below and let us know what you thought about tonight's episode. And that's it. Yeah. And check out my new Vlogmas, my day one Vlogmas. I've never done it before. This is my first time. Tell me how you like it and tell me what you think. Other than that, that's it. That's it. That's it.
All
All
right.
right. That's it. All right, guys.